Hello, everyone. Welcome to yet again another Blaze Cup Finals. We got Season 2 series going on here today. I am the Preavengers, joined here by
Oh, I thought you were going to say my name for me.
Ohshi.
Ohshi Dash. What's up,
No,
everyone? How's
we're
it
going to
going?
have a great night for you guys. We got match point finals set up with you guys, as well as our first ever Legend Bands and POI draft tourney. It's going to be very fun to watch. I know it's going to be very fun for us to cast as well.
I'm beyond excited,
Uh,
man. Legend Band is, in my opinion, the best thing ever implemented in this game.
Yeah, I mean, it really helps us see how creative teams can get, especially when their favorite characters or crutches are gone. They gotta adjust to new characters, and with match point finals, we never know when the game's gonna end. So we get to go a lot of games and see a lot of meta characters, get banned here today.
Yeah, and everybody out there who isn't 100% sure on how it works, the most played legend, banned. Once all of the legends from within that category are banned, unbanned. All of them. Pretty straightforward.
So now we're going to go ahead and get into talking about our teams to watch for today. I went ahead and picked 3, and Ohshi picked 1. So I'll let Ohshi start it off before I get into all my picks. But Ohshi, who did you go ahead and pick for today?
I mean, I had to pick the classic, the icons, the main event, if you will, which is naturally Team Inferno's team themselves, because these lads, not only have they had a phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal showing when they were actually at the New Orleans land itself, but everything that has followed that has been incredible since as well. They have been dominating the CC every time that they play in it, racking up insane amounts of damage, kills, and placements all the way throughout the entire event. They are the home team. The home team. I was trying to think of something else to go with it, but no, straight
Yeah.
up, they are just the home team. They are Team Inferno. We hear our Team Inferno live, and quite frankly, how could we not focus them as frequently as we possibly could?
Yeah, of course. Well, we'll have to wait and see today if they do end up going back to back or not today. The other couple picks I went ahead and took was Chalmonius, Future Streams, if you ever heard of him, a rising star, if you will. He's in Blaze Cup finals almost every single one I've watched, so I knew I had to pick him. He's a regular around here. His team, whatever name they go by, he's regularly here in these Blaze Cup finals, and he is ready to make a splash and potentially win another Blaze Cup as well. And then I definitely had to talk about who flew through the qualifying rounds with no problem. The Durags did great, breezed through those qualifying rounds, first place in both rounds. So we got to expect some great stuff out of them here today. And then for my final pick, I want to head with Titans, a known admin here for Team Inferno with hacks, leading his team to their very first finals, which is very exciting for them. So they're going to have that underdog story here today, and we're definitely going to be rooting for the boys over there here for this tournament.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an incredibly interesting series overall because we have such huge players that are going to be involved in this whole thing. And on top of all of that, we're not even waiting. We're just going to fly straight into the game right off the rip.
Yep. Again, match point finals. So if you don't know, a team has to hit 50 points and then win a game after they hit 50 points for the tournament to end and for them to claim that first place prize. So we could go from, 4 games like last Blaze Cup, or we could go all the way to like 12 for the teams. You never know. So we definitely want to hop right into the action immediately.
Yeah, the very first one of these that I ever did commentary for was here as a Blaze Cup, of course, because this is my home ground most of the time these days on mic. And what did we run into? I believe we went to 13 games. The very first match point finals that we played here was 13 games long. Insane to sit through that much Apex in one single shot, but there's no place I'd rather do it, and quite frankly, there's no game I'd rather do something like that with. So let's see what, I mean, give me your shot. Give me what you think. What's your prediction? How many games and who's going to take it?
If I'm being honest, no bias at all. I think it'll definitely be Team Inferno taking it away. Again, like you said, the motion they have had, since winning the last Blaze Cup has been incredible, and I can only see it probably going. I'm gonna go with the regular, scrim block. I think it's gonna go 6 games. I think Team Inferno take it in 6.
All right. I mean, that I can't really argue too much with that. Otherwise, I was going to say it's going to be a fast series. As soon as I got confirmation that obviously the Inferno boys were going to be in this, I said 4 games and we're out. Making a joke on that because that's how they do.
Yes.
They rack up a lot of kills fast and they can close out games. A lot of the time you take a look at teams and it's one or the other, but they seem to be able to do a lot of that. And I'm gonna go ahead and call out just how much of that ability falls to the coach, Mr. Matt Gallo.
Yeah, exactly. Matt is a big, part of what they do, making sure the boys, put up their suit and ties and are ready to go each day. And especially with Legend Bands, we've seen him be very versatile with their comps. And as we got a quick look at that zone, we might have a, launch pad or Stormcatcher zone that may favor Inferno.
Yeah, which I mean, obviously everybody's going to want that on their side in game number 1. It's a really clean thing to be able to pick up in particular. So it's very interesting to see how we end up. If they're, going to do what you would expect of hold the location, get there early, pick up those kills as fast as they can kind of situation. Nice heady, quick little snipe with that boat check back on the ground loot there. Love to see things like that. But whether Team Inferno is going to go out and chase down these kills early on, go for more of the KP in game number 1, or if they're going to say, you know what, let's let the kills come to us instead. Interesting to see as we have SCCP here pushing in, looking to take that high ground. They want it themselves. They haven't hit that scan just yet. They do have the crypto. Balloon goes down. It looks like they actually want to get right in and fight for that high ground as his teammates are getting ready to flank. Reactor 9 on the height.
Go ahead and get a knock.
Knocked by Bin with that bow check from the distance. Teammates of SCCP do push up there. This is the fun of Alter being able to teleport up, get up to support the teammates. 2 knocks aside. Right now, this is a 1v1 situation, I believe, from what I've seen. Taking the Alter portal back down, shaking it back up, the up and down from both teams here. Great use of that portal to continue with the mobility and get yourself into a safer situation, closing the door, getting that heal off. Not going to be able to pressure that anymore, but the res is going to come out for SCCP. If Bin can hold off another teammate heal, it would be a 2v1, but it doesn't matter in the end because the Q from the altar comes up, straight back down. Wands, only 1 down left on CCP's side right now. As the challenging team, Reactor 9, the team that was holding the height, Reactor 9, looking to pick up a reset. Not sure if they're going to be able to do so. That Sparrow is the only one who is currently up on Wrapping side. They're going to have to make a run for it as we hop over and take a look at Inferno with a care package.
Yes, we often see this now actually with Alter. A lot of resets trying to be made, in a fight. They don't end as fast as you usually think because an Alter can queue, as we just saw Exotica show conveniently for us, and as well as the ult allows for a lot of resets. As we are down now to 18, some good shots out of Cub with the 30-30, and it looks like they're trying to push off that.
Cud is an absolute monster and definitely somebody to pay attention to after hitting that 134, I think is what I saw with the 30-30 in hand. Filthy gun, filthy damage. You almost can see him picking up the first knock right there. Is Exotica, but unfortunately traded back out. So Inferno going to be down 1 as well, but it is RHR who find themselves on the wrong end of what is now a 2v1. They do have that autoloader in pocket though, looking to pick up as much damage with the rapid fire and rapid reload as they can. Inferno gone in 18th place. What an incredible pickup. RHR winning the 1v1. I thought it was a 2v1. He knew better and took the fight.
That was a wild fight to watch there. I thought Team Inferno were up 2-1, but Guk must have gotten down, and now, they go out an early exit for game 1. They'll definitely have to make up some ground, but a great fight there for Reactor to be able to pick up some early KP.
Yeah, that is one of the dangers, that kind of something that I said I was worried about with Team Inferno, as I was wondering if they were going to be pushing out looking for kills or if they were going to decide to hold that location and be happy with the ring coming to them. They did push out, went for those kills, didn't go well for them, and now Spectre Esports find themselves in a very similar position, pushing in for some kills of their own if they can find them. Zeto with a nice little crack. Vosky, another name we probably should have addressed. He's been around CC for years at this point in time. Picking up 2 knocks in the kill feed as well here. Was it 2 knocks or was it a knock and a finish? I think it was just a knock and a finish. It looked like the same name here, but either way, Chalmonius find themselves getting involved in the same kind of area. Super Gremlins find themselves down a person. That was at the hands of Ohshi, I do believe. So we've got 3 teams peeking and looking to kill each other in the 2 buildings that kind of flow side by side here.
Yeah, and as we can see on the map on the top left of your screen, we can see that the zone is ending here. So a lot of teams, trying to find a spot, trying to put pressures and taking away a spot. Thankfully, Super Gremlins was able to, hold off Vosky and the boys and continue to hold their building, but they are now down to a duo in the middle of zone. Going to be very hard to be able to get a res off, even if you get a Moby, because you will get looked at immediately.
Yeah, there's no real safe place to try and drop a respawn beacon in this area. It is simply not going to go the way that you want it to. Like you said, so many places to be seen from. There's, there's some nooks and crannies that you can rat in as a solo, but the odds of getting your teammate back are just so low.
Yeah, very low as Durags make their way into a building in the zone. Although they don't have zone information, they can obviously tell by all the teams that are posted up here that zone will be ending here, and they do, I believe, pick up a couple KP onto H Hub Goon Squad. Will be eliminated as we're down to 16 teams with round 2 now coming in as we move on over to SCCP, as they're going to be looking to rotate their way in from Cascade side.
Reactor 9 find themselves. Oh no, I was about to say find themselves as a full team, but it looks like one of them may have disconnected, judging by the red image that was next to their name right there. That would not be good for them if that is the case. No, is it? I can't tell. Yeah, I can't tell. No, they're all moving.
No, I think he's moving. We're good. We're good.
They're all moving. All right.
Slight heart attack for them.
I didn't do it. I didn't curse them. I didn't make it happen. They're fine. Everyone's good.
No caster curse here. Okay. As Chalmonius will look to try and take a fight here, they will go ahead and drop down the Sparrow ult. A very nice util in a fight, as we can see, as DJ Killa does go ahead and pick up a knock and a Finn on Kuzo.
Yeah, it's a big thing to note about that Sparrow ult. Obviously, being one of the newer legends, a lot of people are still adjusting to them. I'm sure nobody in this game is going to be one of those players. They'll all have played hundreds of hours with Sparrow at this point, I would assume. However, it is very important to note that that Sparrow Ultimate has a significant health pool. It is not as easy as, oh, it's dropped in front of me, let me just destroy that real quick. It will take more than a full devotion mag to destroy that. So be very careful, be very wary, as we have 3 teams go down in the kill feed, back to back to back. New meta, Reactor 9, and Super Gremlins. All teams that we saw in that same little space getting themselves taken down very suddenly, very quickly, and probably very efficiently, because we have not seen more teams coming up in the kill feed since.
Yep, it's like Kingdom's now gonna have to get their 3rd back. And Dayless, they lose the altar. Do get to still use that portal, but they're gonna have to look for a way to get the reset off of him. As we can see some of the little markers there on the screen from the actual Sparrow Qs. If you didn't know, with Sparrow, you can actually use his Q to hit a UAV from a distance away, which really helps teams that want to rotate fast. You can go ahead and run past the UAV, so to speak, hit it on your way out the door to the next POI. Makes it very helpful for those teams trying to make their way into the zone quicker than others.
And not just that, you can also go ahead and pick it right up from a whole different POI, depending on what it is, where you are, right? You can be standing in a single POI, give it a quick little launch, hit it from a whole different one, and see teams that are coming at you from the safety of your own home, so to speak. Yeah, you can kind of do that with the Crypto Drone, but it has a very finite range in comparison to the Q that Sparrow fires out. As you can see, Hacks here, though, flying around, I would say, very adequately named for the legend that he has picked in game number 1 here. Hopping over to the other members of SCP, though, or SCCP, I'm sorry, SCP is going to send these people off. That is a scary game. My bad. But anyways, SCCP here, as they're looking at teams that are coming in towards them here at Cascade Falls, saying, this is our building, please stay away. They've had enough excitement.
Yeah, they're trying to hold off, those teams coming in late out of the zone. In RHR, as an example here, trying to make their way in. That's, one of the, cons, I guess, of playing Edge. If you run into a side where there's a team holding you out, it makes your rotates a lot harder in comparison to, having a zone rotation where it's, straight V-line it there faster than everybody else. But these edge teams are looting and then have to come in and potentially take a fight on a team just to be able to get into the zone. Kind of all depends on, how versatile your team is.
And that's where Legend Pick comes in so thoroughly. And this is one of my favorite conversations to have with Matt Gallo, coach of Team Inferno, is what type of team is playing. Like you said, are they an edge team? Oh my goodness. Hold on. Chalmonius just rolling in right here. Killa, DJ Killa all over the place with those dashes. Phenomenal first little pickup. Here it is right there. That is that Sparrow ult. Like I said, takes way too much damage to get rid of that as they lose ETH on the backside of this whole thing. I mean, DJ Killa actually just went down in the kill feed themselves. This game just exploded. We had a nice calm section. I was trying to say something fun. And everybody said, never mind, we're going to get some shots in Chalmonius. We're the first ones that we saw pick up a knock. And then, like I said, lost DJ Killa in the ending there as well. Almost lost a second member. R5R find themselves. This is one of the teams that was trying to rotate in here. Ooh, yeah. Shall we? Nice little play. Chase it back and forth. This is the merry-go-round that you get with Alter. It is not going the way that Legacy Kingdom wants. Unfortunate for Keepstar there. They did everything that they could, but now SCCP finds themselves, I was going to say, on the right end of the third party. I think it's the wrong end in the end, though, because they also lose one there. Beanbags eliminated in the kill feed. Shall we? That was the one who ended up picking up that knock initially. Kings and the rest of SCCP roll in. They pick up one. So just going to try and get back in this fight as quickly as possible. Goes right back down in the end, hilariously enough. We've got Vosky, who's gone down to the kill feed as well. Kings, only one alive from SCCP. And the rest of his team is going to be gone, and he's going to have left a portal open that they can chase through if they want to, but it is only a duo on the side of R5R, so they're probably going to be just a little more cautious than following somebody through a blind portal.
Yeah, I think all those teams there were lucky that another team didn't come third party. Could have easily ended wrong for all the teams there.
Would have been an entirely different situation. We have Sin actually getting involved in a fight here as well. Nox going down for them. Autoloader's about to run out, which means they are done as Durags find themselves on the bad end of that fight. Spectre Esports also going out in the kill feed now. We just went from 16 teams to 9 in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that could be the power of, Alter as well as Ballistic. This meta currently for comp is very aggressive. So a lot of these games, not the higher quality that we're used to seeing. As we can see, WPress already pushing to try and third party here as this fight just ended not that long ago in this building. As Cloaked will drop down, take a heavy amount of damage. He will go ahead and get to heal up with the gold Evo. RJ coming in with the Fuse ult. Good ult and nades with some good damage. Oh, almost had the Kraber flick there, but they will go ahead and pick up the knock on Rich Plates.
Oh, RJ came in with a great angle, dropped that Fuse ult from the perfect possible position. Gotta respect the play to drop that Fuse ult inside, knowing that you're going to not have to walk in. This is a crypto ult coming in on that respawn that they saw coming. Look at that little spot for the respawn beacon, by the way, inside this building. Fantastic. Wands also dropping a Fuse ult on the inside, not able to close out that kill as the enemies find their way through that portal. Alter once again coming in useful to run away, but again, enemies just following straight through it. Titans on the right end of this fight, picking up some kills on SCCP. But of course, there's a third party rolling in.
Maybe a little caster's curse right there. Axe immediately goes down. First goes down to zone. And now it just leaves their catalyst as they're sniped from the window.
Wow.
Let's see if he can make it out. He does have catwall. He's going to be focused here. Unless he's a little distracted. He's going to try and make that rotation through. We'll see if he makes it. Sin just finished up a fight here, eliminating Goat Squad. Titans does unfortunately go down as they're trying to look to now get the res off, and they're not going to be able to. They're going to have to leave their teammate behind. If they can survive the cross, so many teams just look at you trying to rotate out. I don't think I've seen a team be able to transfer from building to building safely once so far this game.
Listen. You cannot call anything that has happened at Cast a Curse if you're targeting it at me. You are the one who said that these edge teams have a hard time getting into zone, and the rest of us we said, you know what? I think he's right. Let's show him just how hard it is, as all of these edge teams find themselves in the worst positions. Like you said, unable to rotate from building to building, not having a good time whatsoever, and third parties galore as W Press find themselves down 1, very nearly down 2. RJ kind enough to drop that armor, even though he was only on 1 HP himself. That's Charmander with no red health. That is RJ with no red health, but W Press going to get a full reset here. They find themselves not in the best spot because now they are the edge team. Chalmonius also finding themselves in an edge situation. They are not going to enjoy where they are standing right now. They do have eyes on a couple of the opponents thanks to these Qs from the Sparrow, but it doesn't matter when the enemy has more health and is coming right at you. That is Bakyu with a hard push through with the R9. RHR, even as a duo, more than happy to take these fights, more than happy to pick up and push themselves into the placement there. Top 4 right now, top 3 after eliminating Chalmonius. And I mean, Bakyu is currently sitting 5 kills, 3 assists. So you know that this team has at least 8 points sitting in top 3. R5R, though, find themselves holding a fantastic entire side of zone.
Yes. Neko does go ahead and get Kraybird, and I like to point out there that Chalmonius goes down to negative. Future's ex-teammate there, so you know there's a little bit of smack talk there. As we do definitely see W Press having a good spot in the zone as well. As it sounds like an Ashe below them. They'll go ahead and use ult here, as well as get snared. That Ashe snare, very nice in these fights. Some great Evo shots. 112 on the altar. Potentially gets the knock there with the nade. Trying to look for some shots. Gonna find him out in the open, but ooh, that ballistic Q stops him from being able to finish the clip.
Those Whistlers, man, one of the most brutal things in the game to have on top of you. They stay on you forever and are super annoying. Look at that auto hit on it as well. A big thing to take care of. Nico falling victim to his own tools, though, as he is the one ultimately who overheats, unable to protect his teammate. R5R goes down. W Press sees the opening, rolls in, picks up the final kill, and the first game goes to W Press. Interested to see how many kills these teams picked up, because I feel like the zone teams had a field day.
Yeah, I think it's also a little more spread than we're probably going to think. There's, again, a lot of KP that was picked up from just teams rotating in, so it's going to be really interesting to see those scores after game 1. I like to point out, R5R had the perfect spot, but then they ended up, taking a fight, and it ended up, costing them a little bit there. W Press able to take advantage of that and come out and just third party to take that game.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation when you feel pressured, right? You feel like you're in a place where you can't actually roll in and hold the position that you want to in those situations. In the end, though, I don't think this is the scoreboard that we're looking for, because my goodness, we do not have a team with 59 kills after 1 game. So we're going to have to get that fixed up, and we'll get back to you real quick on that. And that's not an issue whatsoever. But these teams to watch, actually, let's stay on this for 1 quick second, just because I want to call attention to, again, Inferno went out at 18. Durags, I think we saw go out at 10th or something like that. Chalmonius did make it up into, I believe, top 4 is what we called for them. Titans, I don't remember seeing very much of at all either. So, I mean, our teams to watch kind of underperformed on our behalf.
Yeah, a little bit, as we actually do got the right leaderboard now. We can see W Press with the win with 10 kills. R5R actually had more kills in second with 13. And
That's
RHR,
RHR.
sorry. We got, we have an R5R and
Oof.
RHR. That's not going to get confusing at all. And yeah, like you said, our best performer was Chalmonius. They did get 4th. Not a bad game for them whatsoever. But our other 3 did underperform game 1. We'll have to keep an eye on them going through the rest of the games.
Yeah, it's a pretty incredible first game when you actually end up with 5 whole teams on 0 scores. That's not something that you see very frequently. Generally, you'll only have 1 or 2 teams that will leave without even a single kill. So attention to Rival 7 and definitely Team Inferno to kind of step themselves up in the end. Singularity, I don't know any of you guys. I'm not going to talk anything down to you. Same with Goon Squad or Meta. I expect everybody that is finding themselves in that bottom 5, they're definitely going to lock in after that, because there's only so hard that you can be kicked, right? Before you just kind of turn up. and rock out. So really hoping to see big things out of them. SCCP actually, I want to call attention. It was SCCP and who was the other team? Reactor 9 were the first two teams that we saw fighting, basically off of landing. Neither of them in the first teams out. Reactor 9 did go out in 15th, and SCCP actually made it all the way up till 8th. So good on both of them for playing it out the way that they did, because we saw knocks on both sides, and ultimately they both reset and kept going. So also a very difficult thing to do in a game of this caliber.
Yeah, I mean, Alter does, help a little bit, but it is still very hard, as we saw with, all those rotations. I'd like to go ahead and talk now a little. If you guys want to look to play in these tournaments and play in our scrims, we host Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sundays, occasional passion scrim days as well. Make sure to drop the command in the chat, !Apex Scrims. It'll give you a link to the comp server, and we can potentially see you here on this stream in finals one day if you are very interested to join. So make sure to hit that up in the chat.
I mean, you're going to be playing the game anyways, right? Why not play with a chance to win some money? Right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
play the scrims, get used to it, get into the cup, get yourselves out here on one of the Blaze Cup finals days, and maybe win some money. You never know. You never know how good you are until you try it. Take that from somebody who used to play competitive when they were 15 years old. Right? You never know until you try.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're tired of
20
ranked,
years ago. By the way, that was 20 years ago
yeah,
that I played competitive.
Wow, a veteran, if you will.
Hey.
Yeah, you got to respect the vets. Yeah, so if you're bored of ranked, I know personally ranked can be a little bland, especially if you've been playing since the beginning. I can tell you from personal experience, scrims is a very fun thing, especially now with legend bans and POI draft. A lot more thought you got to put into it than let me just shoot my gun. So make sure to join up if you want to, give that a try.
Yeah, it's a whole different vibe. If you're one of those people who you watch the game and you're like, I see how the pros play this. I see how this game can go. I see the potential of Apex Legends as a competitive shooter. And then you go play ranked and you're like, why is everybody just running me down all the time? That's where scrims come in. That's where comp comes in, because it is not the same as playing ranked. Without question, because your placement matters so much. Oh my God, I was gonna say, placement matters so much more, and you don't get run down. Meanwhile, W Press saying, you know what, we want the smoke right off game number 1. You got no HP left, my dude. You are alone. You pushed that man solo, and it wasn't even close. Kugrao beat you with the Mozams.
So unfortunate. And I was about to point out, I just got info. Game 1 ban was Alter. So, it was too early in the game anyways, but you're not going to be able to, make plays like that and take an Alter TP back because, she's banned game 1. Very surprising, actually, in the couple scrims we have hosted already with bans. Ashe is usually number 1 to go, but last game, a lot more alters than Ashe. So we went ahead and had that first ban. As we go ahead and take a look at that first zone, I think this is going here.
I think we're going to end up pulling down towards cultivation.
Okay,
I like to see those south pulls normally. I love it. Get away from that hazmat tunnel. Get away from Terraformer. I don't want to see that stuff. Bring me south.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's basically between that or quarantine zone, and I completely do not want to see, a round end there, assuming we get to an end game this game, because last game we were dead before round 6 was even about to close, so we will have to see. As well as switch on over to Spectre Esports here as they're looking to pick up some more loot. See those P2020s in hand, still here, even since last Blaze Cup 2 months ago. P20s still a dominant force as far as weapon meta goes in Apex Legends right now.
Now they have been nerfed. We gotta call a bit of attention to that. They did take a minor nerf quite a while ago.
Very minor.
At this point in time. Very minor. I believe it was 1 damage a bullet. Very minor nerf. They definitely need a little bit more of a nerf. I don't think anybody's going to disagree with that. But you can hold your own with an R9 right now. An R9 does have a faster TTK than the P2020s do. The only difference is you can't just hip fire it and watch the RNG do the work for you. It is significantly more consistent though, and I believe from what I saw when I was playing in ranked and from what I've been watching, when you get roller players that are playing in the Diamond Plus ranks, they are very much going to favor the R9 right now because they will one-clip you before you can even pull your P20s out.
Yeah, I mean, the Apex, Legends fan base and players have been wanting the R9 to come back. A little bit of popular demand, and especially with the P20, reigning its, you know, supremacy
Hmm.
over all the other weapons. It was nice that we got to have the R9 back, and it is a very fun gun to
Oh,
use
I
and
love this
watch
gun.
people use.
This is my favorite graphics glitch. Nice knock, good job right there. Nice
It's a
pickup from future
great shot.
streams. Yeah, great shooting right there. But yeah, I love when the spectator bugs out just a little bit and kind of gives you that slightly too far back in the head view. It
Mhm.
just looks so funny with the bow check with the hand in your face.
Especially with Bojack.
Singularity find themselves down on a single player here. Mitchie is the last alive, and I'm sure they're very thankful that Ash was not the first ban because they're going to be able to run away a little quicker than you could with just about anybody else, aside from maybe Octane at this point in the game. But nobody likes to talk about him, so we won't go there any further. As we move over to
I
Titans, who find themselves in this little tunnel, they were looking for a third party. They heard some shots and ultimately had to walk away.
Yeah, fortunately, not any KP opportunities there for them. You see in a $1,000 tournament like this, that's the beauty of it is people take the game a little more seriously and will play a little safer. As we see Spectre Esports take out R5R and pick up some KP there. Bosky is down though, and New Meta is looking for some KP potentially. No, they're going to look to rotate now. Remember, this was one of the teams that had 0 last game, so they are looking for a huge comeback game. As Goon Squad goes down in the kill feed, and we switch to 5-star.
Goon Squad find themselves on the bad end of a fight once more. 5-star looking to pick up a little more KP. I believe we've already seen them. Yeah, picked up at least one on the side of Dark I-8 here. Dark I-8 and Vosky are two people I wanted to draw attention to. Two different players on two different teams. Both of them incredibly aggressive. We were saying, oh my god, SCCP gone down, RHR gone down. Not even the fights that we have on the screen, as everybody on screen is just trying to run away and survive at this point in time. These 30-30s are coming out with big, heavy shots. When they do hit, they hit hard. No skull piercer for Awe at this point in time, but he is dinging a good 40 here, 40 there. Bought his team some space, but they're not even close to zone, as Team Inferno
And Team
find themselves
Inferno.
only on one. But Guck, being
Oh,
who he is, able to pick up the banners and get away. He's going to have to recall because he doesn't have a whole lot of range left on this drone, so he's not going to be picking up that easy respawn just yet. And keep in mind,
mm-mm.
Crypto, another legend, we're seeing a lot of play because obviously the information is incredibly important once again, but the invis does not work the same. He lets out a little bit of noise and does become visible every now and then. So nowhere near as safe as it used to be. Oh no, the survey beacon scan might give him away as well if it reaches this far. It does. They see him on the bridge. They think he's under the bridge, but he's not. He's on the bridge. This is going to be Guck running for his life at this point in time. And Dark
And they
Eye
find
wants
him.
all of it.
He's 1
Wow.
HP. Might die to
He
zone.
dies to zone.
He
Yeah.
does. Unfortunate. Another surprising early exit for Team Inferno there. Luck not on their side so far. I don't know how they lost Ka and Ace, but Vgut goes down there trying to rat it out. And like you said, it's, the crypto invis used to be phenomenal.
Woo!
Now it's still good, but not
A
as hidden. As Legacy picks
whole
up
lot
a
of
knock on Tempo and some good Havoc shots coming out. The one clip on Big Husk. Huge shots with the Havoc there.
Thales went monstrous right there. He picked up all
Yes, he
three
did.
knocks on a team that were on the low ground with an incredible, I'm assuming it was a grenade or it was his Q. Goat Squad are the team that find themselves on the losing end of this Ghost, portaling as far as he can, but it doesn't matter, followed all the way through. Legacy with a nice crisp cleanup right there. Very easy 3KP picked up. They find themselves near top 10 at this point. As we are watching, I think this is only zone 1 closing still, and we are
Yeah.
13
Yeah.
squads. Insane amount of fighting.
Yeah, I like to talk about that, a little insight from an Inferno admin for scrims. This season, by far, we have got the most complaints about that quality score. Overstat gives a score on how good the quality of a game was, and a lot of comp players take that seriously, which is fair. They want some good ALGS style end games to play on. But this meta has changed that completely from the lower level to all the way to Pro League. these games aren't as high quality as we're used to seeing. And again, it's based on the character meta. Ultra Ash alone just make it really easy to, take fights without consequence, so to speak.
Yeah, your first 3 games of any sets are always going to be insane. Speaking of, what a turnaround knock right there as somebody came up the zip line, incredibly aware, got that R9 out, took the Devo right out of their hands, wrapping, doing the exact same. Great knock right there, using that Sparrow double jump to get up onto the height as well right there. So Wrapping gonna have to get this bat off. They're finding themselves in a bad situation. They don't have the information on the teammates as it's Beanbags on the high ground. Gonna have to run off. I'm afraid I do not know how to pronounce your name. So I'm just gonna say that right now. So yeah,
Yep,
Beanbags as a
Sparrow
team.
on Beanbags.
Sparrow. So the current person who is playing the character known as Sparrow on Team Beanbag. Also known as the artist formerly known as Prince.
Titans will be taking a fight here and be eliminated. Oh my goodness. They dropped like flies as 5-star. Only lose Darklight and pick up the full 3 KP on Titans early. I like to point out that last fight we just saw was all the way in Terraformer, nowhere close to zone. It's very interesting to see these type of games today.
Crazy, absolutely crazy the way that the teams are playing right now. And it's the fact that we're doing POI draft, right? Which means teams cannot intentionally land on top of each other to do silly things. They have to land at their POI and then make their way over to do silly things. And all of them are doing it. But what I was gonna get at is your first couple games are always gonna be this way. Because like you said, the legend meta that we have right now, as well as the TTK meta in tandem with that, cause fast fights, and they can cause some very safe fights as well. However, once you lose those legends, because of the legend bans, everything has to change. You start seeing more new castles come out. You start seeing some safer play on the ballistic side of things. They can't simply run at you like they want to do right now.
Yeah, you will have consequences once, those 2 characters are gone. You have some, characters that substitute what, Alter and Ash can do in, like, Wraith, but it's definitely not as safe as Alter and Ash are right now, so you'll definitely see teams start to calm down a little after this game. We can only assume. As Chalmonius picks up a knock on Bayless and gets the full fan good shots out of Future and DJ Killa to pick up a little KP right there.
Bosky in the kill feed picking up Kaz as well there, as we have, again, these long range gunfights is the other side, and they're the big openings that make teams able to push in with the Ash and do the things that we're talking about, the 30-30 and the Bocek being so prominent damage dealers in this game at the moment. And then you just have Ballistic, who's able to absolutely fire your team up and let you run through hell and back, as that's what Bosky wants to do. That is a lot of grenades. There must be a reset trying to go in up here. It is not going to go the way that they're hoping it does, as Spectre Esports find themselves in a great situation to pick up a bunch of KP, and it is Sin on the bad end.
Yeah, the opposite side completely as their Ash tries to run away. Speaking of solos, Legacy Kingdom, I believe one of those teams that had the fight at Terraformer, if I'm not mistaken, still making their way out from zone, as Keepstar is going to look to try and craft his teammates with round 3 right now, about to pop in 40 seconds. As we move back over to Reactor 9, posted up on the, southern side of this zone, a big rock in their way here if the zone pulls the other way, which I can only assume it will. So it's going to be an interesting rotate for them, as they do have the zip rail, but very easily to get shot off of that. A lot of teams are going to hear it coming, as it makes one of the loudest noises in Apex Legends.
Yeah, the advantage that they do have is that Ash does have the portal, and that very south side of the zone that's about to close looks like they might be able to sneak through either with none or at least minimal zone damage. What they don't know, though, is Singularity is looking to come up on them. Great Ash portal to get inside right into the into the Watson fence, which doesn't even belong to the upstairs team. Singularity getting some nades off, getting some whistlers on the ground. They just want a little bit of safe zone. They say, can't we share? Can we all get along right now? That is not how this game works. Beanbags not involved in this fight, but does go down in the kill feed. I believe that was one of the solos that we saw left alive previously as well. And instead, Reactor 9, they are the ones who find themselves on the high end here. They might hit that zip rail a little sooner than you had thought. Never mind, they actually find another team looking to
Oh
come
my
get
goodness.
involved in this fight. Unless that is the same team that has just bailed out of the basement. Hard to tell. No, it is not. There are
No, it's
three
not.
teams here right now, and I
Oh my
think the
god.
one who has the best position is the team that has nothing to do with the building, because like you foretold, the zone pulls the wrong way for this building.
Yeah, Rapping had some good, G7 shots to push that team the other way. But either way, I don't think they would have wanted to get too involved. They're still, peeking a little,
It's
keeping an eye out.
Spectre.
Can we get some KP? But I doubt we'll see a full commit. As again, they have, the passageway in the zone. They're probably just look to hold out. As New Meta is taking a fight here, trying to rebuild that door with Catalyst and pop the wall to, buy time. But Legacy, don't think he's going to buy enough, as Deft is the last one left. He does have Red Evo. The Devo's gonna sing for his opponent though, and this is another
What?
team.
Ooh, what? What?
What did I just
What?
watch? Another
Deft run.
player.
Deft
A
run.
Sparrow comes out of
It's Spectre.
nowhere and
Spectre
saves his
again.
life. Oh
Spectre
my.
again, the team that comes in, pushing in for that third party. They were the team that we saw in the cut previously, pressuring that other building. They said, you know what, never mind, let's go back this way. And then say, you know what, never mind, let's go back again. Super Gremlins, gone. New Meta, gone. New Meta, by the way, one of the only teams that has been running a very middle of zone comp with that Catalyst, with that Watson, trying to lock down buildings and survive out with placement points. Does get them, I believe, 6th or 7th place this time around, but hasn't been phenomenal for them because, like you keep saying, these other legends just make pushing fights so easy and so safe that all the protections that you want to throw around you aren't going to do very much for you. W Press now finding themselves just on the edge of zone. Nice little opening shot from Cloaked. Unfortunately, this is the G7, which means there is no Skull Piercer. It is not the 30-30, so only hitting for 58 damage instead of the 100 plus that it could have been onto this red armor of the team that's trying to rotate in behind them.
Miles for Durags trying to get the res off with the Moby. Doesn't look like he's being interrupted so far. He might be able to get this off. The door closing scared me for a sec. I thought there was someone on him. But it looks like he'll go ahead and get that res off and be just fine, as Bosky's looking to go ahead and craft that med kit and get full healed, as I believe they're below a team. Yes, so we hear Charmander go down in the building below. Zeto finding himself in a tough spot. Gonna find a little pocket to stay alive in, as W Press is taking a full fight. They got the Devo and they make it work. Watson Gen just come down. Great armor swaps. Just planted everywhere here for them. Good nades. No knocks yet. Back and forth. Just cracks. And it looks like 5-star is getting ready to try and third party this. They'll go ahead and nade off the door. Try and walk in and not get stunned by cat cues as best as possible. Zeto does pick up a knock on RJ. And the full fin. Still trying to make their way into this building. And they finally do get some good shots. Chalmonius will be eliminated. More nades coming out. Still one more team left alive in here. As another nade drops, Vector Esports is eliminated. Good Devo shots. The Durags trying to stay alive. Miles, the last one, as he will be eliminated. And W Press still fighting. This we have had like 5 teams in this building.
Oh my god, there's absolutely no safe place to be around this building at the moment, as there was 2 teams fighting inside. We saw the one third party come in, and then the fourth party came in from the other side. It went from being a clean 3v3 to an absolute barbecue skewer as the grenades got thrown from all sides and everybody was burned out in the end. Dark Eye up on the roof now said, I don't want to fight inside anymore. Take it outside. Catch me there. Trying to get some shots off. It's not going anybody's way in the immediate, as that Whistler locks on. He's going to have to wait for that to go away before he starts singing with this gold devotion in hand. It does end up overheating. It doesn't seem like it matters in the end. He's got a hard face all the way inside. 5-star cleans up that last kill. GG again, long before last zone.
Yeah, they go ahead and pick up a very nice game there. Can only imagine that was a surplus of KP from them. They were, I believe, it needed that 5th or 6th range before this game. We'll see where they sort of end up after that game, where they take game number 2 away with a dub.
Yeah, crazy gameplay. We saw them in the kill feed quite a few times. Quite frankly, we saw just about everybody involved in the kill feed, which is one of the most insane things that does happen in this game. Look at you being all big on camera. I see how it
Yeah,
is.
I'm
Thanks,
taking up the whole
production.
screen.
Thanks, production. Damn. Why you gotta do me like that? I'm 6'1", man. Come
Uh,
on.
yeah, I'm the short one, 5'6" over here. I don't think I need that much camera space
Damn,
to have me
they're
looking like that.
compensating for you.
Yeah, they are trying to
Oh,
give me all that screen time, and I'll
and he's
still
back
take
in.
it. All right.
Hey, you know what? It is
Let me
what it is,
shrink
and you do
down.
what
There
you
we
do.
go. Awesome.
I promise you, it's just an OBS thing, guys. I'm messing with production. They're good guys. They're not gonna do anything to hurt us like this. Because over on
No,
Team
of course
Inferno,
not.
we're hurting ourselves right now, man. I mean, what is
I
going on with the
know.
boys? They are not having fun.
I don't know. It's been a rough 2 games. Again, early exits, early fights that they just couldn't come out well with. We'll have to see how they turn it around. I know that they are going to be relentless and are going to do everything they can to get back up on this leaderboard because right now they have a lot of ground to make up. Thankfully, only 2 games, but 2 games, and we're gonna have to look at the leaderboard. But I think some teams picked up a good amount of points in those 2 games.
Yeah, we saw 5-star coming out on top that time, and I believe we saw them very, very close to the top in the first set as well. Take a look at that. 2 teams sitting at 38 points. If they
Hmm.
keep up what they have been doing, are going to be very able to push into match point after 3, which I know I joked about ending in 4, but
Not the
looking
team you're
feasible just now
thinking
for
of,
who I
huh?
thought. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to point out Chalmonia stays in fourth, so they're looking for a top 3 spot here. They're tied as well. We have 2 ties up in first and second, and third and fourth right now with 38 and then 23. But after that, fifth place 22, but then it kind of drops for the rest of the lobby. Not a lot of points anywhere else. Very top heavy at the moment, but not in the way of just one team dominating. We have 4 teams right now that have a good chunk of points going into game number 3.
And like we joked about after game 1, I'm not going to stop saying it until it ends up being different, which I don't know if it's going to be. None of these are teams that we said to watch.
No,
Like
not at
Chalmonius
all.
is there,
Again, fourth, yep.
but barely.
But other than that, yeah, just barely. Durag's in seventh right now. Again, Team Inferno 18th. Titans in solid 12th. Again, first ever Blaze Cup finals. If they can pick up some more steam, I think they'll be good to go. We found them, getting stuck in sticky spots where they kind of got pinched. We'll have to look to see if they can take some more isolated fights because the boys over there can definitely take them and definitely win them. We just got to see it get executed in the right positions.
So I just want to stay on this for a second because it gives a very good visual of what we've been talking about in terms of team composition and what's beneficial in the game right now. If you take a look at the top teams and you take a look at the bottom teams, one of the biggest things that you'll find is the bottom teams tend to have more defensive legends. Top teams have
Mm-hmm.
none. Right? You take a look at
Exactly.
your top teams. There's no Crypto, there's no Watson, there's no Catalyst, and that goes all the way from the first place team to the fourth place team where there's one Catalyst, and then fifth place is one Watson, and then another huge gap until you get down to 12th. So very different play styles
Yeah,
benefiting very different teams. And I mean, on the one hand, you have to know what you and your teammates are capable of doing, and you have to play to those strengths. But at the same time, meta
exactly.
matters a significant amount. As you take a look at Arrival 7, I'm afraid I don't know anything about you lads, but you're sitting at 0 points, and you have played the same composition both games, and you're probably going to lose Ash this game.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to point that out again with the legend bans. It has allowed these teams to play multiple characters. We're already at some teams that played five characters in total. I wonder how long that list is going to look by the end of this. Could have a whole arsenal for each team of legends picked. As Ash was banned after game number 2. So no Ash, no Altar. Let's see what teams pull out as we see already a Bangalore and a Wraith coming out for their debut in Blaze Cup finals today.
I love that the first 2 teams we flipped to have that variety on it. I love seeing Bangalore come back into play. I think it's one of the most flexible legends in the game. Can be both aggressive and defensive, depending on how the situation that you're in and how you play as an individual. Dug-eyed here, very obviously on controller. If you didn't guess by that 360, nobody with a mouse is going to do a 360 that smooth. It's not how it works.
Nope. That is also another good point of conversation is the roller versus M&K discussion. If you don't know about
It's not
Apex
a good
Legends, it has
conversation.
always been a very tough conversation to have. It's always heavy, controller this, controller that, aim assist this, aim assist that. But for the first time in a long time, I haven't heard that discussion as much because, they made those changes to the aim assist with rollers,
Mhm.
and we've seen some M&K players now shining very well, even in the T2 scene, all the way up to Pro League. And it's really nice, I'd like to say, because as much as those discussions were fun, like you said, there was very hard to talk about, very controversial.
Yeah, there was a lot of very heated discussions in terms of you're only where you are because you play on controller kind of thing, which none
Hmm.
of that is fair because there's a lot more to the game than simply being able to aim and shoot. If it were like that, it would not be Apex Legends. The movement in this, the tactical side of it all comes in as well as the legend and the ability uses beyond all of that. However, I agree. I think the slight rollback that we did see in terms of the aim assist for controller, but on top of that, the major thing that I think kind of stopped that conversation is the gun meta changed. Right, we had a shotgun meta for
Yes.
a short period of time, and then we moved into a very balanced, the pistol SMG meta, of which R9 you can see in the kill feed is making full use of that R9 themselves. So Reactor 9 with the R9 rapping, that's a lot of noises in one sentence, but they are the one who picks up a kill in the end here. Goat Squad are down 2, and there's one other team that is missing a player at this point in time. However, no squad's gone yet, which I think is the best that we've seen in any game.
Yeah.
And Arrival
Who
7
Arrival
looking to
7
change that.
could change that here. Yep, exactly. Let's see if they can pick up some KP. They did get a knock, and we'll go ahead and push off of it. You only assume that they already got res. Renji got to be careful as he gets, bow checked from up top. His teammates alone taking this fight. So far, they're doing a nice job of staying alive. And it looks like they're looking to just rotate out. They're going to leave that Team B. Going to go ahead and try and hit the UAV with Sparrow. Renji's still getting shot at though, and it was
New meta.
this is different. Is it the same PY? New meta. No, it is new meta. Yep. Had to make sure before I said it. But yeah, new meta was the ones up top. As Inferno comes in and Exotica picks a knock on Def. The catwall will come out. The wide swing with the Devo. Oh, the 30 shots. We can't even see our screen. As Ace picks up another knock, and it'll just be Ambrose. He's 1 HP, but he gets a knock, and he will go down to Ace as Inferno picks up some much needed KP right there.
Very needed KP, and I really hope that boosts them as well, because we do know that this team is very momentum based. Both Ace and Ka can fray out to no end. Like, there is no limit to how many kills that they can get in a single game, aside from the number of people in the server. If they could get more by taking out their teammates after that, they would. I promise you. However, they have not been able to do that so far, so that is a huge pickup, like you said, for them. But I really want to call out the play around the catwall, because New Meta did an incredible job of strafing in and out of vision, knowing that they're unaffected by that catwall. And I think that stretched the fight out long enough where if there was going to be a third party, Inferno would be dead now as well. Instead, we see Sin going down in the kill feed at the hands of SCCP. So they've picked some more up themselves, and Beanbags looking to get involved. Chalmonius with a rotation here as well. They probably already hit that beacon from distance with Sparrow, so they know that they're safe, and they know that there's some boxes, to loot here.
Yeah, they'll go ahead and pick up some good loot from leftovers, if you will, from this PY, as they do see someone rotating in on them. Chaos is looking for some shots, does get a crack on a Sparrow, and it is Beanbags. Still trying to look on in. Not getting too aggressive. They were looking for some shots, gonna hold out that secondary pistol, looking like he's dual wielding. But yeah, nothing comes out of it just yet. And as far as that zone goes, we did get a look at it earlier. Potential Galleria, but if we know E-District, it pulls to Energy Bank more often than not. So we'll have to wait and see where exactly it goes.
I have to say, Ballistic running with the pistol out and the sword in the other hand feels like a Halo CE fever dream.
Yes.
Where you've got the Halo pistol in one hand, the energy sword.
Thing.
It feels like something that I would have thought of when I was like 8 years old. As Team Inferno, huge first opening blast by Ko right there. Unfortunately, Ace is on his way out with a portal. I don't know if they just don't want this fight, or if they're leaving a fallback, but they do have one knockdown already. Chalmonius, I mean, they're just gone. DJ Killa says, nope, never mind.
Yeah.
He is out and about, and his teammates are behind. Future Stream's obviously down, and I'm just looking at the mini-map, watching Chaos Feeling, and it looks like they're either... Oh, no, they're right next to him. I'm sorry. I missed the triangle. I was trying to figure out what are they doing on the other side of that wall, but of course, that person's already down. Ohshi, good job, Ohshi. God.
It's all right. Happens. R5R now looking to rotate their way in as well as they go ahead and pick up that UAV. As you can see, all the red around their mini map there, showing them where everyone's at. As I'm assuming they did go ahead and hit with the Sparrow Q, and they'll look to move their way into Galleria. Can't really tell from the minimap if they have that zone knowledge or not, as R5R is looking for a little more shots as well in break row. He's looking to try and pick something up, as we do now get to see that zone, and it's not Galleria, and it doesn't quite look like it's Energy Bank either, so I'm 0 for 2 there.
That's how it goes. 19 enemies on this scan, by the way, and I want to call attention to this Wraith's name is McDonald's Worker Backwards.
That's why I was having a hard time.
Yeah, that's up.
That is
great.
hilarious.
Great name. That is brutal to try and figure out as a commentator. So thank you. That was great.
Yes. Yeah, we
appreciate way too long.
I appreciate.
Big ups to production. Thank you to production for actually staying on the team long enough for me to figure that out. It took me a solid 30 seconds. Speaking of, that's about how much time SCCP has left with this autoloader as they're running in, trying to pick stuff up. My favorite glitch in the game one more time has been with the bow check in hand is trying to push in here. 25 seconds left on this autoloader, giving them that rapid fire, giving them that faster movement, faster reloads on their side. Shots coming out, nobody seems to be hitting anything, as it's actually DJ Killa knocking Viguk in the feed. So that is Inferno who's find themselves on the bad end of a fight, as Ace is going to have to drop this portal on the way out as he's taking 30-30 bullets in the back. I think the team is probably just going to wait and take this portal from right behind him. One of the downsides of Wraith, unlike some of the other portal legends in this game, is you can take the portal immediately after it drops.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Cuz holding right by Guk's box, maybe ratting it out on that other end of the portal. So Ace will be able to get away. Not sure if Ka will. He's kind of just sitting there on the box. Looks like he's only a couple feet away from Viguk's box. May just not be available for him to grab just yet, as we move on over to 5-star. As we hear that little Sparrow voice line. I'm not gonna lie, I'm still not even used to it. That tripped me out for a sec. It's like, wait, who's talking?
Who's
right
now? Doesn't sound like my co-caster. We love us a little rap moment as Darkite finds the P20s for the crack on the back of his teammates opening shots. Not able to finish anything off just yet, but look at the angle he's rotating around for. I believe his teammates are not following him. They are very much taking up a lot of space. Darkite, like I said last game, very, very aggressive player. Very confident in getting out and doing his own stuff. But we're going to hop over to W Press, I believe. Are they the ones on the other side of this right now? I think so. They don't have any clue where Darkite is at the moment. Charmander may have just found him as he loses all of his shields.
As Charmander will now go ahead and heal up slowly with the shields. He's got that sling, a very great ability for Ballistic, being able to just whip out a full gold devotion whenever you want. It's kind of like, hey, you got some good up-close weapons. Let me just pull out this golden one that happens to close in on my enemy when I shoot it more, hip firing, and just deletes characters.
Let me use the gun that aims for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure if that gun sticks around any longer, we'll have some very controversial discussions about it as well.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about that gun right now, though, is strictly that the only time that you want to use it is when you have a ballistic on your team. That is the key, yes. Right? Because otherwise, an uncharged Evo is just not fun. Anyways, Darkite out here setting up some nice little angle traps, if you will, with those that Sparrow tactical. You're able to get vision on people as they're coming around corners and things like that. Very good way to kind of keep yourself safe from being pushed in the back. Like Team Inferno, unfortunately, is happening to them. They did manage to get Viguk back, but this time it is Ka who goes down. and Ace wants to pick up that res, not able to do so. The Stinger comes in as well. Durags are the team who kind of, saw an opportunity to roll in on what we would call the
Yeah.
big dogs, but at the moment, Inferno is not the big dogs. They are very much underdogs in this
Yeah.
series. Oh no. Oh
No,
no.
like I was saying to Durags. Ooh, the nades. This equal just survived there, but like I said at the beginning of the stream, Durags cruised through both, round 1 and 2 qual lobbies in first place like it was nothing. So they are definitely a favorite, but we obviously thought Inferno would be coming in hot as well since they've had so much motion lately. As they're looking to try and pick up some more KP. As I like to point out, they fought Chalmonius, picked up KP there, and then they went to fight the Durags. It's like all of our teams to watch started fighting. We just need Titans to go fight one of them as well.
Yeah.
And then they'll all be in a fun little circle.
Yeah, Ace is down to a solo, or sorry, INF is down to a solo as Ace went down to the kill feed during all of that. Reactor 9 finding somebody to get involved with as well, with Rapping dropping some nasty headshots from a good distance with that 30-30. Does have to deal with the Stinger Bolt, though. That is going to do some damage, and a missile lock coming in from a Whistler, too. Rapping taking all the heat while his teammates are the ones doing some damage. Unfortunately, not quite enough to keep Deadly alive in that situation. Rapping, again, still finding himself quite low. Hated doing everything that he can. They do pull it out. Singularity ultimately the team that goes down, but of course Chalmonius is not too far behind. Goon Squad down in the kill feed as well. Future Streams with some good shots. Team Inferno finally eliminated on the side of everything happening here as well. They find themselves going out 15th once again. By the way, we actually have a good amount of teams. There's a Stinger that we actually get to see shot for once by Future Streams. R5R gone down. Beanbag's gone down. They're looking to close the door on every single person that was trying to come out of zone right there. And then they realize, oh, now we need to focus on zone 2. Future Streams unfortunately goes down. Reactor 9 eliminated in the kill feed there. It is Durags, your team to watch, coming in, cleaning up, finally getting some good points on the board. A knock comes out for Riley. He's looking in. They can't seem to find anybody around this wall. And they're going to take a second to pop a shield back.
Yes, they did actually take out the solo of Team Inferno, so they wipe out them, and now they're looking to try and take out Chalmonius. Again, all of our teams to watch being hunted down right now by the Durags as they're still looking for Chalmonius. I actually have no clue where they ended up because they just pulled a magician act and disappeared.
Yeah, the advantage of that catwall breaking line of sight. Legacy Kingdom goes down as well. We're only catching the tail end of stuff with how fast these fights are. It's absolutely incredible. The TTK of this game, the change that they made this season, phenomenal. Absolutely rewrote the entire script of the game.
Yeah, along with, the aggressive characters, like having the TTK be very low helps, with those fights. Fights can go faster if, you hit your shots. Basically, it's not as easy to stay alive now. And as we've clearly seen with people trying to make their rotations, the TTK makes it very hard to be able to get a heal off as well. As we're seeing W Press in need of some heals, as Cloaked is going to be almost 1 HP. He's got about 25 left there. He's trying to hide in the corner. His teammate's giving him the knockdown shield. Very important. As soon as you go down, little tip, as soon as you go down, put that knockdown shield up for your teammate. And you'll get naded from Serial Cat.
The only time, the biggest thing to keep in mind is if your teammate is telling you not to hold the knock shield. That is a thing that happens sometimes as well. We're not seeing a whole lot of that in the moment because, like we said, there's no time to even heal. There is no time to think. You're on the drone. The auto-loader was not enough. Chalmonius down in 7th place.
And
Durags down in 6th place. 5 teams left. SCCP is still alive at this point in time as well. Okay, something we haven't talked about with Ballistic and that autoloader is as you get knocks, the time extends. So if SCCP can keep fighting and keep picking up knocks here, they can keep that autoloader going and might be able to close out the rest of the lobby if everybody keeps pushing into this the way that we have seen teams doing so. That does not seem like it's going to be the case. It's going to end up timing out in 10 seconds. As I don't know who they have at the corner right now, but I feel bad for them.
Yes, they're stuck in a very tough spot. Catalyst can only help so much as the crypto ult does come out, though, on
Oh, it's Spectre.
Spectre Esports all trying to bat Yeah, on Spectre, sorry. But the Gold Devo does come out and stings, gets a knock on Wands, looking for the second, has to reload, pulls out the R9, and his teammates wipe up SCCP and Spectre Esports, flip the script on them, stuck back against the wall, and they're able to turn it around.
It's always a dangerous thing to try and pressure a team into a corner when they have a composition like, well, quite frankly, any that you're going to get in the game. As long as Ballistic is in the game, it is always a fair fight.
Yeah, so we know they're alive as well as 5-star. I am curious if Titans are alive. I don't know if I saw them go down in the kill feed. No, they are! Our underdogs. Can they take a win? They have the building and zone, but as we've seen, it's hard to hold these buildings, and with Blue Evo, it makes it that much harder when these aggressive team comps are running at you.
Yeah, there are multiple teams on Red Shields at this point. It is not going to be an easy fight for them. They have to deal 100 more damage per player in order to get knocks compared to what they're going to be receiving. Sorry, 150. 50 damage. Can you imagine if each bar was 50? So I'm talking about how fast the TTK is, and I'm like, by the way, you have 900 health in this game.
Not at all. And as we saw there, Fresh looks for some shots. He's able to do 68 damage, but then his whole armor's cracked again, like we were just saying with the Blue Evo. But luckily for them, only a solo down low. And then the other two teams, they do have the high ground. We'll see if Breber here can stay alive for longer and secure some more points at top 3. As a Wraith comes out of nowhere.
What?
Goes down and takes the portal back, and Breber's allowed to stay alive here. I don't know how he didn't get killed, and that's 5-star. All right, Charlie. Oh, there he goes. Now he's gone with a frag grenade. No Caster's Curse, I swear. I swear. But 5-star is now going to be a full 3. And as well as Titans, and then I believe it's still Spectre. Will be our final 3 teams here. Zone's kind of ending in that middle building. 5-stars a little, awkward cross here to get over, as this team on the right's going to definitely be able to look at them. But this team on the right also has a very questionable cross to make. Catalyst going to be a huge factor here. 5-star does not have a Catalyst, but they do have a Wraith. Portal's going to be back very soon. They do have the Ulta Cells if they need it. As we look on over to Titans with the Crypto ult, that could also be, very useful here. It's going to all depend how these teams use their util, as they're going to have to look to pop a Wraith portal as well with no Catalyst. Wow. None of the teams alive have Catalyst. It's so unfortunate.
I love that you're like, Catalyst, super important in this situation. Nobody has one.
Oh, no one? Nobody has one.
But they do have Wraith.
Wraith it is.
Yeah, and Wraith just as useful in this situation, as we see that portal coming in right here from Fresh, able to get his teammates into that middle building. This is the safest place that they could have tried to go to for this period of time, but really nobody has a great spot. Dark Knight, first one down, first one dead. I can't say I'm super surprised, because like I have said 4 or 5 times, very aggressive player. He wanted to buy space, wanted to find some ground for his team, does not end up going his way. Spectre Esports find themselves in a phenomenal position, hilariously on the low ground. They've got a good amount of cover down where they are right there, but Spectre Esports are the team to watch, because they are standing straight in the middle of zone, right where Zeto is right here. Again, low ground, they do have some cover. Ooh, he was trying to buy space a little farther from his teammates than I thought he was. Able to get out of that queue early. One of those perks that you can pick up with the Wraith, being able to end your queue early. Very beneficial. Lets him get some meds off there. Drops the portal for some extra move speed, as Titans actually find themselves in a phenomenal spot. It's ultimately the team on the height here. Not even in the most central part of the circle, but it doesn't seem to matter, because the other teams are so hell-bent on killing themselves to one another and to the ring as the grenades fly, the guns sing. 5-star find themselves down to only one player left. The enemy team pushes them. 5-star fully eliminated in the end. Titans actually go out, and it's Spectre from the low ground pick up the win as an insane final push.
Yeah, that is actually very rare to see that, the low ground team coming up and taking the win. But as soon as I saw the triple red, and I'm not sure who it was, but they had a PK and a triple take, I was like, yeah, this is their game to win here.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal situation that they found themselves in that low ground. Quite frankly, very, very good call by the IGL in the situation to play the play that they did. It's never an easy situation to try and push uphill to pick up kills, let alone pick up a win in that situation. But like I said, the teams in that last zone were just bent on destroying one another. It was mutual destruction from the very
Yes.
start. And it's very interesting to see that decision made by them. It's one of the things where you'll hear people say it a lot of the playing for second, right? It's the
Hmm.
realization of we don't have the best spot out of everybody that's in the game at the moment, so let's push this team and fight for second place. Unfortunately, none of the teams had good spots, so all of them tried to play for second place, and in the end, only
Yeah.
one person wins. Five Star find themselves not only in first place overall, but actually pushing across that threshold into match point. So if they win another game at any point in the night, they will walk away with the victory, but tight on their tails. Spectre and W Press only 3 points each away.
Yeah, I definitely want to give a huge shout out to Spectre Esports there, just staying very calm, cool, and collected there. Teams, when they're on the low ground, usually get a little antsy, but they were able to hold their own down there, play their cover correctly, and take that game win. But Five Star ends up being the team that hits match point. Unfortunately, they were still 3 points off of hitting that. Now, the question is, does Five Star come and pull off a game 4 win and give us another 4 game series? Or can W Press and Spectre Esports pull off at least 3 points to get themselves on match point as well?
And not just that, are we going to see the comeback of a century from any of our other teams? Because there are many
Hmm.
teams in this lobby that are able to close out games not just once, not just twice, three, four, 5 times in a row if they have to. So again, we're going to keep focusing on Titans. We want to see them. They made it up till
Yes.
ninth place. They got some good points that
Yes.
last game. They did significantly better on this map. Inferno scraped themselves up into 16th overall in the end here. So again, they are a much better E District team than they are other maps. So hoping to see more big things out of them. But this is definitely proving to be a challenging day overall for our hometown heroes. Very interested to see if these other squads that we've seen have phenomenal fights, like Legacy Kingdom, if they're able to pull,
Hmm.
kind of grab their bootstraps, so to speak, and pull themselves up the ladder just a little bit here, because it's do or die, guys.
Yes, it is. And I'd like to point out with Titans too, their best map being Storm Point. Give a little insight there. And they didn't get as many points that game. Surprisingly, they pull off most of their points on E District. So we're going to see how, they fare on Broken Moon and E District the rest of the series and see if they can get in the top 10. Like, can they stay there or can they move up into fifth? We'll have to wait and see. But I do like to point out, no zeros on the board anymore. We do have all teams with some points, which is nice, considering how spread at the top things are right now.
Yeah, but yeah, there's nothing worse than being skunked out. But that doesn't happen too much in Apex anymore because nobody plays Caustic. As we're gonna roll into our
Mm,
third game, fourth game. Gee, purrs, I am having
fourth
a
game.
day already.
Yes.
We're only game number 4 here. Could be our last. There is the possibility of that, but absolutely everybody
Mhm.
and their dog is preying on the downfall of our first place team. So that does not happen because everybody wants to watch more Apex.
Yeah, so we'll definitely have to keep an eye on Five Stars, see how they play this game. This is where it's make or break. Can you handle the pressure of being on match point and finishing out the tournament with a win? We'll have to wait and see here. As I did get information, game 3 ban was Sparrow. So Sparrow is gone. We are now Alter, Ash, Sparrow, all gone as we move into game number 4. If we go past game 8, don't ask me who's banned because I'm probably not going to know at that point. This
Okay,
list will get very long.
game 8, we might actually
So
see
I
a
hope you're
Caustic.
listening now.
Game 8,
Yeah,
Caustic might.
we might.
I mean, you run out of options at a certain point, right?
Right.
It's only so many
Exactly.
control
Yeah.
legends to get ring information with, and he is one of them. Nobody likes to say it out loud, but it is true. He is one of them. As we hop in with Spectre Esports here, one of our very well placing teams in that last game, with
Mhm.
Vodsky here on the legend that I expected to be banned, but actually isn't. I definitely did not think
Yeah.
that we would be seeing 4 games with Ballistic.
Yeah, again, like I said, I didn't expect to see a game 2 Ash, but that sort of happened as well, which is kind of interesting. not going to help, those zone teams because, there's still these aggressive characters around. But after this game, Ballistic most likely will be that ban. And we'll kind of see some characters like Watson conveniently here that'll have some time to shine in zone because you won't have these ultra portals or Ash Qs, stunning you constantly. As Chalmonius looks for some shots on a Wraith. Great shots. Can't connect that bow check shot, though, to get the Finn as the Durags was going to be the one trying to get away as Riley was very weak, but manages to phase out, and Miles will now look to cover him.
Oh man, the flip from the one Wraith in a queue to the next Wraith in a queue was incredible. Nice little arrow stick right there, by the way. You don't see that very frequently anymore, but that is something that Sparrow is able to do. Ooh. Miles, I'm pretty sure that. Oh, what a shot by Future Streams, picking up that opening knock. Great bow check pickup right there. I was going to say one of the things you don't see very often with the bow check is the ability to put grenades on it. In the end, those grenades got thrown and forced Miles into a bad situation as DJ Killa, waiting, finds one crack but not able to kill in the end, and opts not to follow that portal through. Can't blame you. You had no HP. In the end, Future Streams picks up the finish on Miles, and Team Inferno looking to get involved in somebody's business, but they're only on white armor.
Yeah, an early fight here again. Definitely need to convert on this. Good stun with the crypto. Oh, Ace does pick up a knock. Helps make it 2-2. I'm not sure if they're getting shot by another team as well, as Cud does get full finned and Moon Squad goes down in the kill feed. Gug's drone picking up. The other two still left alive. Gug trying to swing on this ballistic and potentially pick up the knock. Ace gets the crack. He will go ahead and get the knock on Depth. And just one more. New meta is eliminated. No third party yet. A good fight for Team Inferno. They do lose their third, but hopefully they can pull off the res. But that's still 3 points on the board early in the game. Just got to make an end game now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that W Press saw what was going on right there, and that's what that Wraith crack was. I've got my POIs crossed. That was not Team Inferno in the end that they were shooting at. So that's beneficial for Team Inferno. Actually going to be able to get a little bit of a reset as this mortar flare comes out. RJ going to have to hit the zip to get away. Cheeky little move right there to stay safe in the end, but his teammates are still at that main building. He's going to have to either wait out that flare to go back, or his teammates are going to have to come to them. It looks like they are opting to give up the height here. As Charmander, you got to drop that portal soon, buddy. There you go. And that is Beanbags coming in and getting some pressure down. Sorry, Sin actually were the team that came in and got the pressure in there. So good on them. As Vosky, again, you can see in that kill feed, picking up Nekosu.
Gets a full fin.
What's that? Sorry.
He does go ahead and get the full fin, so I'm not sure how much KP they have currently, but remember, they only needed 3 points to hit match point. They at least have one, as we know of so far.
Yeah, I definitely expect to see them hit match. I think we're going to have at least 3 teams on match point if we get a game number 5. In this one. Sin obviously going to be doing everything that they can, holding this massive building that is basically in the middle of zone. Not the easiest team comp to do it with, but I'm sure that they will make very good use of that 319 heavy ammo for the 30-30. He is running a car, but he's got the car on light ammo right now too, but still.
Yeah, that's a whole lot. I mean, I usually, will take 2 stacks at max, but hey, I mean, if you're going to sit in zone, I guess, the more ammo, the better. But I don't think the 30-30 is in need of 300. As Titans will be going down, Hax does get rezzed in zone. Oh, some nice drop-down shots. And Goat Squad's eliminated. Fresh, good connections there. Mid-air shots with the hipfire Nemesis. You love to see it as he's the kill leader and picks up all 3 on Goat Squad. That's exactly the sort of motion that they need to continue, moving up this leaderboard.
Yeah, this is what we expected to see out of them, right? I mean, a single player, full team wipe, that's the kind of stuff that we've been witnessing throughout their qualification into this finals. So, good to see them finally coming online in that regard. But 5-star, the team to watch at the moment, finding themselves in a great situation with the Devos in hand. I'm sure they're very happy that Ballistic didn't get banned because that has been very core to their team wipes that they've picked up in almost Dark Eye. Again, very aggressive player. He wants to have that ammo on that unlimited ammo, and increased rate of fire on his side at all times, especially playing a character so slippery as the Wraith.
Yeah, and I was gonna say too, with legend bans now, it makes match point even more interesting, not just because of the aspect of what characters can we pick, but also on the fact that, like you said, they love playing aggressive with ballistic. If he gets banned this next game, do their chances drop to win a game? Who knows? As we now look at Reactor 9 taking a fight on a building. They almost had a knock. Gonna try and hit that whistle. Doesn't quite connect. Does get a good swing outside and get a knock on Cuzzo. That's the second time I've seen him get knocked today. So go ahead and get the fin. And that is it for now. I believe his teammates are chasing. But they didn't get the full wipe, so they must have got away.
Yeah, there's a lot of shots still being fired, but nothing coming up in the kill feed there. So we hop over to Arrival 7. They've been struggling. There it is, Super Gremlins. Emotai, last one alive on that Wraith. I did just say Slippery Legend to be chasing. Gonna hop into that queue. You're still gonna be able to follow you. You're not that much faster than they are. You can see those queues coming out of the, excuse me, of the fuse as they chase him down. Actually on his way back towards the teammate banners here. Oh boy, almost goes down. Tries to drop the frag out. There's no way you get this bad off. You're gonna go right out. Super Gremlins down to R9s in the end.
That's the way to put it there. Rags will move over one of our teams to watch, getting some good shots. Ethos are going to be low, though. He does pick up a knock. Good spray by Riley, 104. Gonna probably get this knock, as we can see from the nice little highlights there that the other team is very weak. Not just his fuse, but their teammate. As the fuse gets the bat off, will drop down. Miles does go down. Durags can still win this fight, as they only have to pick up one more kill, and Beanbags is eliminated. And they should get the reset. Okay, make sure I didn't jinx it.
Beanbags goes out in 15th there. Unfortunately, right before them. Titans out in 16th, so no more of them. It is 5-star coming into a fight. Look at the range and the angles they have on this. 5R5 goes down in the feed as well. 13 squads left. Only 12 able to play upset at this point. 5-star is playing this incredibly smart. They're not playing overly aggressive anymore. They're going to be able to take any of the fights that they want to, just simply because of the fact that they have that ballistic on their side. They've got the crypto in hand as well, so all of the information that they could be asking for while they're at it. I mean, they are dangerous as W Press getting involved.
Yeah, Charmander is going to be really weak, but RJ does pick up a knock for his team, making it a 3v2 that will get the fin as well. And it looks like it's a solo Sin who will try and run away. He's got a decent distance, a little wall between them, so he should be okay.
From that team,
I take that back immediately.
He's okay from one team, but not the other 12.
Yeah, two other teams trying 11. To look at him.
Who knows? Who knows at this point? He's got a long way to run.
Well,
and taking a look at the map, there is not any crafters that are nearby him either, so he's not going to be having a good time. As Arrival 7 looking to come in and boost their score. Renji feeling careful. I appreciate the kind of hesitance to run in while he was waiting for their teammates to show up. He knew someone was up there. Snow find themselves losing half their HP. Whistler on the ground as well. They're looking to just kind of share some space in zone right now. Oh, they're waiting for Drone to come back up. I'm betting that's what's going on here. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to see it in a situation where Drone comes up. The push does come through. Instead, Arrival 7 find themselves going down very, very quickly in that fight. It's never a nice thing to see as 5-star run down another player and pick up more points, just slowly closing people out. The fewer threats, the better.
Contact with target.
Yeah, and again, like you said with Renji, he did a nice job of waiting for his teammates, but they just couldn't convert in the fight, unfortunately. I will say he was a very aggressive player and has developed from experience in being able to hold off. Just unfortunate that they couldn't win the fight there. As we see 5-star pick up a knock, Singularity does go down the kill feed, and there is a duo above Darklight, and they actually go below him now. Gonna look for some shots, does get the crack and the knock, and it should just be one left on Legacy, if I'm not mistaken. And oh, he goes down to negative from a little distance away, and 8W gets really weak as well.
Yeah, 5-star finding themselves in a tough situation all of a sudden. Darkite having gone down, they aren't going to be able to get this res off, though. good on Serial Cat to be able to push down and pick that up. Is going to get back to full health. That is a full reset for our first place team. That is
Yeah,
not
that's
something
insane.
that you see too
Oh,
frequently. Just barely getting that off as well, staying alive in the end there. Reactor 9 finding themselves as a solo on the side of Hated. Manages to win his one. Sin eliminated in the end. Banners in hand for Reactor 9. So Hated gonna have to pop a lot
great
of
job.
meds to stay alive here. And they have a very, very long way to go too.
Yeah, great job though winning that fight, securing some more points and being able to get the res off. Luckily, teammates will spawn in with a little bit of syringes and it looks like those bins were untouched. So hopefully, fingers crossed for them, they get some heals and can make it into zone. It just all depends with teams like 5-star that are here right at the edge if they'll look to hold them out or not. It looks like AW will go ahead and pop that ult to sell to try and get that crypto ult back ASAP, as they still have a team right in front of them as we move on over to the Do-Rags as they go ahead and pop Fuse ult. And Riley will have an aggressive Q here and wide swing, and he picks up the knock-on cloaked with the Devo. He's going to go ahead and heal. See the teammate trying to run away, want to secure this KP without getting third-party yard. A little on the edge of zone, but a crypto ult does come out. They break it. Nice job. Expected Esports come in. They have at least 3 points, so they will be at match point as it is 9th place right now with 1 kill, which is very nice. As they have the revved up Rampage, another gun, just like the Devo, that has that nice close-in hip fire that can be very lethal.
Yeah, again, when you're running it in the right situation, right? It is, again, another very ballistic, reliant weapon. You love to see it when it does have its opportunity. As so many casters like to say, when you get to let it sing. Unfortunately, with no ballistic in there on the comp, that's not going to be a thing. Hopefully, no ballistic after this game, because we are going to get another game, right? Knock on wood. The Team Inferno find themselves outside of zone, trying to hold this building down. They have been running the Rampart 2 games in a row now. Something that they do on occasion because they like to lock down these buildings when they're playing on ED. Unfortunately, first one to go down. Dark Ite not traded back in the end there. Full finished as well by Dark Ite. So that is a nice full kill for a 5-star on Team Inferno here. Inferno going to be one of their, or theoretically would be one of their biggest threats in terms of being able to close out this game and get a victory. That is the EMP coming out for 5-star. Gonna slow you, or slow your teammates, but not gonna hurt your teammates. They're just gonna walk right in here. This should be a cleaned up victory for them in the Team Inferno fight. 1 left alive after this is Dark. Never mind, that's an R9 actually. That Dark Eye just fought right there. RHR eliminated, and we saw R9 in the kill feed, or taken out by Dark Eye here as well. So this is not Team Inferno like I had thought it was. Chalmonia's involved in their own piece of chaos in a building here as well, as DJ Killa have to drop that Q to try and get out just a little bit as they're down the player with Future Streams full dead. Bad situation to try and pop that, Matt. You're going to be full killed as well. Chaos feeling. Going to have to Chaos run away at this point, or he's going to be feeling zone pretty soon.
Yeah, I have no clue what happened in Inferno or R9 there. I was literally about to say, can Team Inferno be, the heroes of this lobby and take out 5-star? But then now I'm questioning, could have R9 taken them out there? But unfortunately not. Both of them actually come out in shambles fighting 5-star. And we'll have to see, but this might be the game. We don't know. Still 7 other squads that they have to compete with, and they were on the edge of zone, as we're now looking at SCCP.
They're all up.
Trying to get some crypto drones. And Team Inferno's all up. So they can still take a good placement in this game. Obviously looking for that win so that 5-star can't. And I best believe that that's on everybody's minds right now, is to not let 5-star win. No matter what, they want to be the winners just to make sure that it goes one more.
Look at that little slot that Guk was in there as well. That's a filthy little place. Reactor 9 down. Not 5-star eliminating them. Ooh, what a little skip of lag right there. Yeah. That was interesting to watch. Kind of teleported with the slide. Vosky picking up a knock with the Whistler. The Whistler.
Wow.
That is never a good feeling. That
not at all.
It feels like it's your own fault. It feels like it's your own fault.
100%, because it's just this heat-seeking missile. It doesn't do a ton of damage, but enough that if you're weak, you're going to die to it, and it's got to be one of the most frustrating ways to die in Apex Legends right now.
Yeah, without question. It's worse than caustic gas. It's worse than dying to zone because
Yeah.
it is entirely your own doing. You made the decision to keep firing, knowing full well that it was going to hurt you when you got to
Yeah.
that point. I guess chances are you're probably going to die either way in that situation if you're still firing when you have 1 HP left. But so be it. As Inferno, this is a situation that I find they thrive in when they are able to have kind of set themselves up, pass on that info. Ace can go up just like that, be aggressive, do the crazy things.
That
Cut can go
crazy.
up and
This is
cover
five
him
star.
as well.
The
Five
five
star
stars
gone.
eliminated. Team
You
Inferno
pushed it. You
are
did it.
your heroes for game 4 as they take out the match point team. So we will go one more. And I actually love to see Ka on Rampart. When they first started screaming together, I remember watching them, and Ka was on that Rampart heavy. And now seeing him on it, he looked very comfortable there with those Devo shots.
I want to see the ballistic gone now because I think Inferno will shine in that situation.
Yes.
But again, that was you. You did that. You caused that because you said, can Team Inferno be the team? Can they be the heroes? And now Ace out there taking Charmander down too. They find themselves on the high ground of the bridge in the center, with the ability rather to be in the center of zone, whatever they want. And they have one of the best legends for it in the hands of Exotica, being able to put these walls wherever they feel like. Ace, I don't know if he's going for a kidnap, if he's going for loot, or if he's just getting info. He's just getting info, looks like. They had a knock. He wants to get a finisher. What are you doing?
Oh, so much damage.
What are you doing,
Ka
Ace?
and Gukar can't be there, though. They can't capitalize off it. Or can they? They pick up a knock. Just one more.
They're not going to be able to get a win from down here, that's for sure. I don't know if they're going to be able to get the respawn either. Ka is putting some walls down so they can at least get the banner and heal themselves back up, because that portal's gone. They're not getting back up top now. They are not going to have... Okay, well, I was about to say they're not going to have a good time. That would have felt like a very good time.
Very nice use of the ult there to go ahead and wipe up W press. And yeah, again, it depends. Can Guk get this off? Do they have the Moby to race to res Ace? They are in a decent spot on this bridge, but only being a duo is going to make this that much harder. It looks, I do hear a Moby, and Guk is in his drone. As we see Durags, here a duo looking for some 30-30 shots on the cross. Ooh, his teammates gets in the way a little bit there. As SCCP, I say that name slow every time, is picking up the building bottom floor. We do have a team above Inspector Esports.
Yeah, this is definitely a situation of we needed a better position than we had, so we're going to come share this building with you whether you like it or not. And Vosky, I think, is the king of whether you like it or not when it comes to the fight, the way that we've seen, because he will push the bill. They came in, they said, you know what, look, we'll take the ground floor, it's fine. You know what, we want the second floor. Actually, it's our building now. They push them back down. Chalmonius eliminated in the kill feed. Spectre East, just dumping. He's got unlimited ammo with the increased rate of fire. Just dump bullets for quote-unquote cover fire. Inferno, yes, they are back to a 3-man. Yes, they are still on this bridge. Yes, they are getting themselves back up to full health as Ace doing what Ace does and being an absolute pain in the butt. Durags goes down. We are top 3 situation. Again, our first place team no longer a threat. Just pop that Wraith Q to keep yourself safe from the grenades, but it doesn't tell you that people are coming. Ace in a bad position. Again, the rest of his team was still on height, had no way to get him back up there to help. That drone is going to go down, but I don't think SCCP cares too much about that one, aside from the fact that they can't drop their own EMP. As Team Inferno EMP comes over the top. It does not hit SCCP, though, so Inferno's going to find themselves trapped on the high ground, dropping down after taking some zone damage. Spectre Esports goes down, and that is SCCP, not the scary monster, taking first place.
That's a great game out of them. They played very patiently. Again, another low ground win. They were, I like to point out, the bottom of that building, recognize that Ace is down low. They say, let's go push this solo, make the, well, they know it's a full 3, so let's go push him while he's by himself as a solo right now, so that Team Inferno is no longer a threat. Then from there, they just had to pray that, Team Inferno did heavy damage to the other team, Inspector Esports, and sure enough, they did. Inspector Esports dropped before, they even had to shoot them, and then all that was left was Team Inferno. So very well played by SCCP right there, as they go ahead and pick up the game 4 dub. And Ohshi, we will go another game. We do get to spend some more quality time today rather than
One
Last
more.
place cup, one more at the very least, as we see three
Oh.
teams at match point now.
And three of the most dominating teams that we have seen show up today. 5-star has always been, I mean, here's the thing. We wanted to spotlight 5-star as a team to watch, but we do it every single time. So we're like, you know what? Someone else this time. We should have known better because here they are sitting in first place, 63 points. Spectre Esports, Bosky, a name I'm sure lots of people know, rolling through with his lads and coming up in second here, also finding themselves match point. W Press doing incredibly well, finding themselves there. SCCP 6 points away. Chalmonia still can't find their way up. They're down in fifth, but Team Inferno went up 10 placement. Sorry, not 10 placement points. 10 placement points in 2 games, 8 placement
Yes.
points in that last game. So they are up in 8th place now. Titans right behind them in 9th. Durags up in 6th as well. So, you know, we said to watch out for some of these teams, and yeah, at least they're kind of showing up right now.
Yeah, they are, and a great job by Team Inferno to move their way up. Obviously, Titans right behind them. Chalmonius and Durags coincidentally right next to each other as well. So they are performing well, but they're gonna need a lot more if they want to, get their hands on some cheddar tonight. As we're gonna have a very competitive game with three teams at match point. And let's remind you real quick on what they are playing for. First place, $500 in their pockets. Second place, $300, and third place, $200. So remember, only the top three go away with any money today. And right now, coincidentally, we have three teams on match points. So it's going to make this next game very, very interesting.
And keep in mind that this could be any of you, by the way. Any of you that are sitting at home, if you
Mm-hmm.
think you're good enough for this, make sure you check out Team Inferno. Check out their Twitter for all of the information for sure, but check out the commands in the chat as well if you're watching this live on Twitch at the moment. Because you can get all kinds of information on how to sign up for their scrims, how to play in those Monday, Wednesday, Friday, all the way through and get yourself qualified in to play in these Blaze Cup finals for this cash prize, because this isn't, you know, unusual. This isn't a one-time thing. Team Inferno does this every, is it every month you're running this still?
Every
Every
bi-monthly,
3
so every two, every
every
two,
2
every
months.
two
It's every
months.
2 months.
Yes.
I mean, all right. Oh, every 2 months instead of every one. My bad.
No, you're good. We
But
did
still,
used to do monthly, and then now we've switched to 2 months. So, those of you that scrim, if you don't know, this tournament has now become paid entry. But the nice thing is the top 8 from the month of the tournament, like right before, so we're in June, May's top 8 of our scrim leaderboard. So basically, you play games, right? The more you play, the more points you rack up. And the top 8 teams of all those teams that compete do get free entry, just like, for example, Titans, were actually your first place team for the month of May, and we're now able to join this tournament for free. So nice perks of actually playing in the scrims as well.
Found a bow check here.
we got a Pathfinder on screen right now.
I know, I love to see it.
This is the best thing. The best
It
thing that
is
comes
so
out of these
fun.
legend bands is you get to see the comfort picks, right? The old comfort that I'm playing on ranked with my boys and we're just going to have a good time. You know, I feel like
Yes.
wrecking the crew tonight kind of thing. I'm going to go play some
Exactly.
TDMs or something. That's where the Pathfinder comes in. That I just want to zip, zoop, zap, and fly. So you pick the man who zip lines himself. This
We
is
got
the
a
stuff
zone
that's
that.
fun.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Ah, that's it, man. That's just the stuff that's fun.
Yeah, as, we see a zone that could potentially Terraformer here, or at least Terraformer's side, and we have two teams already picking up a fight here in Goat Squad. I'm not sure who they're fighting, but they're aiming down that Sheila, getting ready to pick up a knock, but ooh, they flipped the script. Tempo is 1 HP. Ghost, very weak. Flip down the walls. Gonna need that R9 to go crazy. It does, but not enough to get the knock. Quite unfortunate. And who else but Spectre Esports, one of your match point teams right now. Go ahead and pick up some early KP in game number 5.
Here's something I didn't expect to see. So, Ballistic, definitely the legend that was banned in this game. I don't know if we could have made that obvious enough. If you hadn't figured it out by the fact that Vosky was playing Newcastle, then I don't know what is going to tell you. But anyways, Vosky on Newcastle is not something that I thought I would have witnessed. But here we are in that situation right now. Very aggressive play by him with that Q as well to finish that
Yes.
off the kill on Ghost right there. So Goat Squad find themselves not only down one, but if you look at oh my God, how did,
Please live.
what?
Oh, Loma
I mean,
Ruiz
you're
out.
gonna get
Get
out
the
for sure.
Loma plays. This is so great.
But how did you know?
I have no clue. He must have heard some footsteps or some sort of audio cue that told him to run away. Vosky, like you were just saying, by the way, play on Newcastle. He is a very versatile player, so I did kind of expect a pick like that. Not Newcastle exactly, but I knew he was going to try and switch something similar. I like to point out, like we were talking, 5-star, very aggressive team, no ballistic. Spectre Esports, very aggressive team, no ballistic. 5-star just trying to make up with that, with a fuse, but is it quite the same? No. We'll see how they can sort of make it work for them in this game 5.
The other side of all of this is these teams that we're talking about, very aggressive teams, they need to win games now, right? They're already at the match point. They don't need the kills anymore. Kills obviously help them get to the top, but they don't need them, so they don't have to play as aggressive anymore. Chalmonius still needs to play aggressive, though. They do need these kills. They do need these points as they queue through the teammates' fire to be able to push in. DJ Killa living up to the name. Every time we see him on screen with this
Yes.
R9 in hand, he is one-clipping somebody. I do believe GRCE, he may be Greek in that, but this is SCCP on the bad end of that fight. Kings was in a phenomenal little situation, nice up and high there. And this is the Pathfinder stuff. You can't really catch this legend with all of this verticality in this section of the map.
Yeah, it makes it very hard to be able to, hit him as he's trying to run away. This is interesting where, Evo shots at a Team Inferno. Pause that conversation for a sec as Ace goes down. Cuz barely flying in. And Guk's down low. Little ways away. I'm not sure what happened there as Guk goes down as well. And now Cuz will be down to a solo. And this is similar to the same spot they died. I believe it was game 2 or 3 on Broken Moon. And they just, I don't know. I don't know what it is with that spot. Early game, they just keep, losing. And I guess this time was the Singularity. Again, we have no clue what happened that previous game to them, but they're down to a solo once again.
I'm going to say that is probably rotation knowledge on the other team side. They know Team Inferno lands close by. They know that they're going to be rotating in that way. On the other side, though, you've got R5. Shawi got very, very bold, trying to pull out that charge rifle. Now it is right down to McDonald's Worker 8, last one alive on the side of R5. R here does have the 20s in hand and the knock shields to play with. Manages to get the finish on Arrival 7, but the third party has already come in. You saw the EMP come from the crypto drone. Then he shows up on it, and it's the Goon Squad.
I was about to say, earlier you said you didn't know them too well, but you do got to remember them from last Blaze. I remember you loved saying their name. As we'll actually go away from them and head on over to Singularity, who are having a fight as Mitch does go down. Oh, he runs right into a Mirage. Love to see Mirage, as Singularity will be eliminated, and it will be, drumroll, RHR with the negative Mirage play. Actually saw him play a good amount of Mirage with future streams back in the day when they were DMG, assuming that is the same negative. And now we're going to move on over to a match point finals team with 5-star as they swing with the Devo and pick up a knock on the Catalyst. Gonna go ahead and get the open. Not sure where the Cat's teammates are. Ooh, looks like they're in the middle building trying to shoot.
That was Synthesized who went down right there. So unfortunately, very far away from their team. We've been seeing that a lot so far. Super Gremlin's gone in the kill feed as well. Hacks knocked in the distance by Serial Cat as well. So 5-star looking to find the finish and the third player here in the end as well. They want to control this entire side of the map, and they will be able to do so once they finish these players off. They did not go up this zip line. They definitely would have heard and or seen that. So Serial Cat just going to spend a couple minutes trying to track people down. Does find
hit the UAV
Hacks to finish off his previous knock. There's the scan, and they're not on map.
They did pop right before Hacks got knocked. Yeah, and he ran. His teammate was at least a safe distance away. 5-star realizes that and says, we're not, throwing our game that we need to win by chasing a solo in his zone. We'll let him, go off and focus on our own rotation. to now move in his zone. As SCCP looks for some shots on a Wraith, taking a portal to who knows where. Oh, the Pathy little animation telling them to bring it on as they run with the Wraith portal. That was actually really cool timing, as Kings will try and look for an off angle to take some shots on this team playing the building. But I believe this is cultivation, right? Yeah.
Yeah, this is the thing that I like about Pathfinder is it really breeds these off-angle plays. His single mobility use of the Q, of his tether, of his grappling hook, sorry, lets him get to these locations that other legends can't do very easily. Other legends can definitely get there, but they can't do it as quickly, they can't do it as smoothly, and they can't necessarily do it as safely, is the biggest thing, right? Yeah, he's in the air, you're going to be able to shoot him, but that doesn't make the end-all be-all difference. But then you have legends like Mirage, who are very much more in-your-face kind of style. They want to fool you. They want you to be paying too much attention to them. So not really the easiest thing for Pathfinder, who is on the outside, to deal with, because they're not always sure which one's real, right? And they don't want to give themselves away. So Goon Squad, good job holding off the push here, ultimately deciding, you know what, we did a little bit of damage while they were falling back. Let's get out of here, as R5R on the other side here with the drone going out as well. I love the mini map from the spectator too, by the way. You can see all the different drones that are in the air, at least 3 up in the general vicinity at this time. So everybody's running the crypto right now. Cannot blame them. A lot of information required, especially if you're familiar with team comps. You should be able to try and pick out the teams that are in first place. SCCP, however, doesn't seem to care. They knock Exquisite. They knock Bear.
Goon Squad going down. So they're having a quiet showing, I'm not going to lie. Sorry, guys.
No, it's good. I was going to say one left alive. They're going to try and chase him down. Again, that Pathfinder incredibly mobile, but this is Orb season. Last one alive. I'm assuming that's what your name is supposed to be. Orbs? Orb season is how I read it. I don't know.
Yeah, so I've seen these guys a lot. They do. No, that is literally the hardest part for me when it comes to casting, is pronouncing names, especially, you know, gamers, especially in Apex Legends, as well as we see Spectre Esports, one of your match point teams, taking a fight early on. They do pick up a knock. He does go down. Akimbo is really weak. Bosky going down. Your Newcastle, you hate to see that when you would hope that he'd be the one alive to get a res off. Now it's going to be Dozetto and Akimbo by themselves, as they're going to be being pushed. They're trying to get the res on the Newcastle. Do they get it off? Wow, they do. They do. Very lucky indeed that the other team didn't decide to immediately ape, as it's Reactor 9 in the building opposite of them. Wow. Okay,
yeah,
interesting.
So Reactor 9 fully pulled back because they had lost one of their own as well. There was a traded knock there. They were naturally concerned. They pulled back, decided to reset, and ultimately, I mean, that's not beneficial for the lobby. It's good for them, though.
Yeah, very good for them as we move on over to Team Inferno being pushed up. The Bang ult from another team. Guck immediately getting into that drone to give his team some information, as Ace is going to look to try and get a little aggressive off that information. The ult's going to come out. He does go off, but he's going to turn around and help his teammate instead. Picks up the knock. Guck is slightly alive. Ace got to get that Devo reloaded, and you just see the Sheila walk out and spray some damage, and it's now just a 2v1 as Guck and Ace gonna look to finish him off. Guck does go down. Ace gotta get aggressive. He was very weak. The drone picks him up for a second, does get broken, and it's RHR who they were fighting, and it's gonna be the Crypto left alive. So can he leave and pick up the respawn beacons after? I don't know. He pops the drone, trying to figure out where Ace is. He's going to go ahead and res. And we have no clue if Ace is rezzing. I assume so. Oh, he hasn't rezzed yet.
He's not able to yet.
Portal's coming through. Okay. So, you know, RHR does get the reset sooner. We'll see if they re-engage or just decide to move away as Reactor 9 does go down the kill feed.
No.
So, you know,
they can't.
Game time decision. Yeah, they go and res and they'll be gone. That's definitely a IGL decision there. Like, you know, we almost just lost this fight. Do we stick around? Do we leave? You know, it's very hard to decide, but that decision can ultimately decide your game.
Yeah, it was a very good, very, very good call by Team Inferno to reset the way that they did. Like you said, they didn't get the reses off sooner, but that's because Ace had actually dropped a portal out of the
Hmm.
POI. They went to a whole different
Yes.
location. Everybody took the portal, the reses out there, so that it's not simply get one res off, push back up for a 2v1 situation. They do find themselves chasing down some blood
Hacks.
again, though. That is Hacks.
Yes.
I think that's the third time we've seen Hacks get killed
Yes.
this game alone. That's what
Yeah,
it
he's been
feels like. I know
hunted
it's not true, but
down. Yeah, and now to just be fresh alive, and he's fighting a different team here, rotating in because it's
he's
Showy
fighting
that gets
ghosts.
knocked right in front of him by the zone. The team dies in front of him, but he's got another team holding him out. He's got to get out of zone, and Titans will be eliminated. Even the Mirage Qs had me confused for a second, as it's RHR, and they're dying as well.
RHR manages to pick up the one kill, clean up the team behind them, but then find themselves going down to zone as well. One left alive. 5-star, however, find themselves alive and mostly healthy. Darkite also fighting ghosts. That's the third player we've seen in this game, shooting at absolutely nothing when they thought they were something. But hey, sometimes you pre-fire and it's good, sometimes you pre-fire and it's not. This time it worked out for them. That Arcstar was almost dreadful. Darkite had the cooldown on that Q, though, able to get out of it and not take the damage. Serial Cat, not so lucky, does go down to Legacy up top. Has no shields, pushes up anyways to keep the pressure on. Some zipline hopping around, lets Darkite get reset, and now they're going to be able to get the res off as well. That was a cheeky play by it, as now there is a new drone that has come in, which means there's a new team, at least kind of close by, as we go into SCCP, have gotten themselves into a piece of action here as well. Juan's on the wrong end of it at this point, does almost go down. As yeah, this is 5-star that they get involved with too here. Almost completely. No, is fully killed. He's gone,
Yes.
and gonna have to be completely resurrected at this point in time. Serial Cat gonna have to get himself a little bit of red health back, as well as we see Darkite going out for the banner, and maybe a cheeky res. He doesn't know that there's a player in front of him. We do, because we have the benefits of the highlight. He does manage to pick up his teammate's Kraber, though, so that's an always a scary thing to see in this POI in particular, because if they can get up where Kurt, it's Team Inferno. How did you guys get up here?
Yes. Yeah, so they were actually the one that killed all. So I must have been able to take the spot as 5-star was trying to, heal up. As we see, once again, Team Inferno slowly picking away at 5-star. We'll have to wait and see if they kill them again. I'm sure if 5-star knew that was them, they would be pretty frustrated, as it's back-to-back games where Inferno looks to try and end their game early.
Yeah, Inferno's going to have to leave this high ground, though, so not too much they're going to be able to abuse from that situation, even though it's one of the, I'm sure, everybody's favorite places to play from because of the high ground that you have. Going to hop right over to DJ Killa, doing what I keep saying with this R99. That's a Valkyrie Q. There's a Valkyrie in this game that we have not seen on screen yet. That is terrifying, and that is a Pathfinder that was not moving whatsoever. DJ Killa doing what DJ Killa does, though, picking up that full kill, sorry, that knock on Eve. Having to grind back to his team, though, because they have one down, and now Killa down as well. Eating an R9 of his own, and of course, it's Darkite who's the one who's able to pull that out. Jalmonius only has future streams left. He is not going to be able to invis and hide out here. There is too many people running around looking for him. He's going to try it anyways. The bat does go as well. Cheeky little thing that you can do with Crypto. If you didn't know, you can heal while you throw your drone out. So he's going to be able to do that. Darkite also getting a reset off here. Serial Cat going to be able to heal up. They're still down one, but I think they're okay.
For the moment, but this rotation will be hard. They're the kill leader with Darklight, but again, like you mentioned earlier, these aggressive teams, they can continue to rack up as many points as they want, but if they can't convert on a win, then it really doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. Maybe you can stay in second or third to pick up some, cash on the way out, but if you want to win, you gotta be able to convert with the win, and it looks like they're gonna get a res off on EW, and it might work out for them. We'll have to wait and see. Another crypto drone
just flying around messing with them.
yeah.
I love it. I love little things like that. Sometimes it's just about making him freak out a little, right? Make him panic. Maybe
Yeah.
he drops the respawn. Maybe you think, oh, somebody's going to be pushing. That red pill, by the way, is just sitting right between 4 different teams at this point in time. Only 6 left in the lobby. Durag trying to make it 5 is saying to get 1 good knock from the hype. Miles in a fantastic situation. Finally gets the drone back. Going to pop a cell while he's at it. Wonder if that EMP is going to be coming in as his teammates are looking to push down. They don't want to stay up here for too much longer. Getting that intel. Hops right back out of drone though, because they are in what one would call the god spot at this point in time, as Inferno looks like they're losing 1. Yep, Ace again full killed, gone down completely. Ka trying to find a spot to call his own in zone, gonna let the walls go down, and the Sheila's saying, but there's not a whole lot that they can do. Nowhere to go. Grenades coming out. Only 2 alive. They're going to have to be very, very careful, because I was about to say they don't have control of that high ground as they come up and owner. Inferno gone out to SCCP. Great little over-the-top push. Durags now find themselves down a player.
Yeah, they'll now have Riley down, and I am curious to all the teams that are alive on match point. We obviously know Dark Light and the boys at 5-star are still alive. Looks like SCTP and the Durags are also alive. Just wondering who that final team is. It's W Press. So that means two
2.
match point
2.
teams left in W Press and the boys at 5-star. Can either of them convert, or can, 50-50 chance, the other 2 teams, can they pull it off to give us another game? We'll have to wait and see, as 5-star's only a solo. It's just a W. He was the only one down, and now he becomes the only one left alive, trying to rat at the very edge of the zone, right next to the building with the crypto drone.
The only acceptable end to this game, or the end to tonight rather, if this game goes down to a solo win that is a bloody crypto. That's it. Otherwise, I want another game, at least one more game.
Yeah.
That is the only way that I will accept this being the last game, is if he manages to pull that out as a solo crypto. Durag's only a duo as well at this point in time, so this is theoretically W Press's game to lose, based on the fact that they are, like you were saying, at that match point and still alive. 2 shots in this Kraber though, so I mean, Miles could completely turn around any single fight with a correct shot here. And they have the high ground, but they do not have right in on them very soon. They know that they have somebody pinned down on that corner, but again, they don't have to move before the Durag do up there. 5-star gone, AW gets found.
That's W Press.
But where are they? That's the big question. Where is W Press as all of this fire comes up onto the high ground? W Press also finding themselves on the high ground of the other side. Sorry, the low ground of the high ground here, sorry. So there's one team that we do, or if you want more games, you want to win, that's on the low ground here. W Press are on the side where they've put all the fires down. There's not enough pressure being put on them right now. They actually managed to fully rotate out of the pinch position that they were in. They should have been between both teams. Managed to make it out. Durag goes down to the kill feed. W Press still alive here. 1 down, 2 up. Shields are gone on all. W Press manages to pick up enough knocks to get the regen as well. And they take the victory.
They take it in game 5. Shout out to boy Cloaked, a very skillful player. They end the series and the tournament tonight in game 5. Oh my goodness, they went crazy there. Played it perfectly to allow the other teams to sort of fight each other, and a nice job to stay alive there. He was Cloaked was so close to going down, and luckily got that bat off. And I think, honestly, that bat almost completely changed the game for them.
That bat let him live long enough to get his skirmisher passive. That's the other big thing that we saw there. Something that, again, is a relatively recent change to the game. The skirmisher passive, where if you get a knock, you regen some HP. That is what let him stay alive to be able to pick up that last kill. Now, again, he did have a teammate still up. The teammate did still have their HP, no shield on their side, but still had some HP. But either way, phenomenal pickup in the end right there. Able to close that out after 5. I predicted 4, and I'm glad it wasn't 4. I always want more games. 5 is an okay way to go out. I like 8. I think 8 is good, because then you start getting the real weird stuff with the legend bands coming into play. But phenomenal way to close it out for W Press right there. Because like I was saying, they were in what I would have called the worst position of those 3 teams. Being that low ground team underneath that other team, with the other team kind of at the other end. I just said other team way too many times. Um, that situation, you should end up being pinched, right? That the
Yeah,
high ground team should land on you and you should be pinched between
right,
the two teams.
exactly.
They made a phenomenal little rotation outwards around to the side, and that's what got them the victory in the end. So very good call, very good play, very good shots to close that whole thing out by W Press.
Yes, great job by them. We had saw a lot, really. That was kind of the story of the night of teams winning games from the low ground, which is usually not something you hear common in a shooter FPS game. But tonight, that was the story, and W Press was able to convert on it as they ended with 74 points and 5-star. Again, they were really close, but they end up with 77. And because they didn't win on match point, they actually end up in second place, if that makes sense. It should make sense. But yeah, so W Press does go ahead and take the win. 5-star will be in second, technically. SCCP actually come and take the spot from Spectre Esports by 1 point.
By
They
one
were
point.
1 point off a little bit of cheddar cheese for the night, but it will end up being the top three of W Press, 5-star, and SCCP taking it over. What do you think about the rest of the leaderboard? Obviously, congrats to W Press, but some other teams that, what do you think, underperformed, or like, what are your thoughts?
I think you and I rolled into this underestimating
Mhm.
the competitiveness of some of these teams. I think that's what
No.
happened here because we called our teams to watch. We expected big things from certain people. We got big
Mhm.
things out of a lot of people. And I think what this shows is just how phenomenally different some teams can perform when the pressure's really on them, right? All of these teams qualified, which means all 20 of these teams had to go through the scrim process and make it there and make it to qualify to where we are here. That doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily mean that they could have won the whole thing. It does, it should. But some of these
Right.
teams are just different. They play so incredibly well in the CC side. You've got teams that have played up at the PL level as well when they've gone to things like the ALGS Open. They've played against the top teams in the world. And I think that's a lot of what we witnessed here is just how good some of these players are, and the importance of being able to close out games consistently.
Yeah. Huge shout out to all the teams that made it here. Great job. Also, want to quickly talk about, before we wrap things up today, we have just dropped our new summer apparel with the Blaze Blob, which is the arcade looking retro style shirt that you see on the left. And then we also have our Violet Pyro that just came out on the left, a little Japanese, anime style going. If you want to get your hands on any of these shirts, exclamation mark site in the Twitch chat. Want to get to this earlier, but we ended up ending in 5, so we're here now. But the other two shirts from our previous as well, with the Spread the Flames and Blaze Cup tee on the right that you see, are also still available. So make sure to get your hands on some of them. I'm sure you've seen in my background, I have already the Violet Pyro one, and as well as the Spread the Flame shirt on. So make sure to get your hands on some Inferno merch. Support us. It would be greatly appreciated, as yes, you can see the shirt hanging in my background and
Hold your one
wearing
up.
this
Hold the
one.
one up that you got on right
Yeah,
there. Stand up
there you go.
stand up a little bit
There
so
you
everybody
go.
can see it. Those ones are phenomenal. The stuff that you saw on the website as well that were on the right hand side, turn around, show them the back side of that too, because that's the dope part. Look at this thing. I got to give a
Love
quick little
to
shout out.
see it.
My boy Drew designed those. Um, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal esports designer. He's done all kinds of jerseys and everything for all kinds of teams. So very glad to have seen him and Team Inferno able to hook up and get us some absolutely insane merch like that stuff here. So uh, I don't know anything. I'm
Yes.
talking from the outside. I'm not part of Inferno, but
Yeah.
I can say anything that this team drops in terms of merch is going to be, and forgive the pun, absolute fire without a doubt.
Yes. Yes, you want to add a little flame to your summer, make sure to pick some up. Glad to see that you also enjoy it. As someone in Inferno, I can tell you there is more to come. So, even if you don't vibe with any of those shirts, stick around. There's going to be a couple other drops and you may enjoy it. But as we close out here for tonight, I do want to give a huge shout out to our production team. Their first ever time, by the way, putting a production like this. Great job to you guys. We really appreciate it. Little snags, little bugs. It's all right. It happens. First time, though. Great. Love it. Especially want to give you a shout out to being able to change the POVs in time for us to see these fights when there were so many going on. That is not an
Uh,
easy thing to do. So huge shout out to them for that.
yeah, I'm gonna take a second to actually reinforce that very thoroughly as well. I was saying it before we even went live. I've been in esports for 20 years at this point. I've been in the production side for over 11 years at this point. For a first broadcast, y'all killed it. Absolutely nailed it. So congratulations to yourselves. Make sure you give yourselves a round of applause. Everybody who's sitting out in Twitch chat, make sure you fire off in the chat saying thanks to production, because without production, my job is nothing. Right? I sit here and I just
Yep.
talk. That's all I do. It's the only thing I bring to it is that loud, weird, scratchy voice that comes through every once in a while. Yeah, Pre does a lot more behind the scenes as well. So make sure you say thanks to him. Thank everybody who's part of Team Inferno for bringing us this incredible series every 2 months. All of the scrims that you guys see, make sure you follow them on Twitter as well at Team Inferno GG. You can find Preavengers there as well as myself. I believe you're just at Preavengers is your Twitter if I
Yes,
recall
yes,
correctly, and then mine is
yes,
Ohshi
correct.
dash OHSHIDASH. You will miss the first H the first time, so double check that you spelled it correctly. No, I do not have anything to do with sumo wrestling. Please stop asking.
Yeah, huge shout out as well to our competitors and supporters that made this possible. We really appreciate you guys. Without you guys, and hence, like you're saying, we are nothing. So we will continue to, appreciate the support and support you with tournaments like this as best we can, every 2 months. So make sure to hop in the Discord, get started scrimming, and you guys could end up being an Apex champion here in Blaze Cup one day as well. That'll close it out for us, you guys. I was Preavengers and, of course, Ohshi. So we appreciate you guys as always and hope to see you in the next Blaze Cup. Thank you.